Sebelum mula, rokok dulu.
Hey, what's up? This is the Sip Show, I guess. Nama saya Gen. Ahmad sini. Ate dengan baby di rumah. So kami dua saja hari ini. This is like a very special episode. So in this episode we try to make it as perfect as we can, because the previous one when we interviewed this
Sedikit huru-hara.
sedikit huru-hara. Banyak huru-hara.
Banyak huru-hara. Tapi sebut sedikit lah.
The comments is like agak-agak lah. Interview joget microphone macam tu. Like, oh, I'm sorry. Memang.
Oh, ada. Oh.
Like a lot of people were not happy.
Oh.
They're like, you are disrespecting. I mean, I'm sorry. The thing happened.
Sip-sip hari ni miskin.
Ada
Kan
duit
sudah
sikit
kaya.
lah, ada duit sikit.
Sekarang sudah ada 2 mic, 2 kamera.
Ada lighting.
Okay, so hari ni we are with again the legendary Joe from KARBURATOR DUNG.
The buduan negara.
Hello Joe.
Hai. Hai again. Hai Mat.
Hello.
So where do we start? We have been talking for I think a good half an hour. And I just realized I have no idea what punk is. And all this while I thought I understood at least sikit, but I guess after meeting Joe, it's like, no, Egan, there's so many things you need to learn. I don't know what to ask you actually.
Yeah, just the whole point I think the whole point kita buat ni is actually because I saw you guys doing something kan dekat Arwah. So I thought because maybe some of you tahu yang KARBURATOR DUNG is going to be playing KK.
Yes, one of the reason for this video is to promote the new
and also
EP,
we have a new EP
and also the show. Congratulations on the
Thank you.
the EP.
Thank you.
You call it EP1?
EP1 because dia akan jadi 4 EP.
4?
Yeah, that's
Oh, they're
4.
more than a trilogy.
Yeah. What do you call quadrophenia? Yeah, it's a quad thing. Sebab but you know, later lah.
So okay, when I read the write up, that's the most homework I did. So you can I say it, for lack of better word, were you screwed by these labels?
Yeah, I mean everybody was screwed by the labels.
I mean,
tapi at the same time, kalau KARBURATOR DUNG tidak sign dengan BSP in 1993, I don't think the band will still be around because back then, if you want to record proper recording, then you need to have a lot of money. Because back then kalau studio saja dah, you know, the hourly rate so high, and then you have to at the very least you have to sewa the quarter-inch tape for the recording, and all that lah, and also at that time you don't, of course you don't have money, but at the same time you don't really think about this sort of process much.
so because everything back then was covered, so you can focus more on being creative lah.
Yeah, like what a lot of the band dulu semua macam tu lah. They don't really think about the other side of making music. So the marketing, the recording, all that. It's all
Lepas tangan lah.
so somebody else yang take over lah, and usually that's a label lah.
Well, I guess it went well because, I mean, in Sabah, I
Mhm.
assume in Sarawak, we get a good amount of carburetor dung.
Yeah, tapi I think the first album tu yang recorded and released in 1993, which is like 31 years ago. That one, aku rasa because of BSP, dia punya reach in terms of distribution is very good. So it arrived here also lah. And then, but when we released our second album, which is years later, 1998, tak silap aku, I went to Sandakan probably about 99 or 2000, something like that.
Okay.
And then I met somebody saw me on the street, and then turned out to be one of those budak-budak metal yang lama dulu, yang the early 90s.
The
guys.
first album, Be a Gang.
Yeah, I mean not in terms of what, in terms of the underground scene.
Oh, okay.
So because the Sabahan underground scene, I mean, has been starting since the early 90s anyway, kan. So dia cakap, Joe, I met this guy, and they called me up to go makan-makan lah. So all these guys yang pernah buat fanzine dekat Sandakan semua, we all meet up lah in Sandakan makan, some place, I dah lupa nama tempat. And then they said, Joe, Carburetor Dung never release second album ah? And I said, wow. Because then I realised, because yang second album tu kami buat sendiri on our own label. So the distribution was done by these guys over there. We guna pakai nama Form Record, but not really. They just use the name to be official. So that album tak sampai sini. So they don't know that kami ada second album at that time. So then I realised that yang after VSP, after Valentine Sound Production, people don't kind of like lost touch dengan apa yang kami buat, because I would say by about 97, 98 kami dah decided not to go along with the kawan kami and go to the mainstream. So Carburetor Dung, I mean, maybe me and Fendi, we don't want to be a part of that. I mean, that OAG, positive tone and all this, you know. So we want to go to the more DIY punk kind of way. So that's why we recorded on our own, put out our own label and everything, and that kind of cut off the awareness of all those people outside of the scene, that we have put out more recordings and things like this, you know, because we kind of like cut ourselves out of that more mainstream friendly kind of scene, you know. So yeah, I mean, people must understand that by somewhere around 96, 97, there is a pushback in terms of the underground scene. There's a pushback toward young band yang atau a lot of people that go more mainstream friendly. So there's a pushback. So the usual term being used for that is DIY punk, meaning that we are doing everything ourselves. We're not involved in the mainstream world. That's another world. Actually, we are pretty much against that world, because it also involves a lot of exploitation and things like this. Whereas when on DIY punk independently, then you have control, full control most of everything. So, but my realization in dekat belah sini, in Sarawak and Sabah, they don't really know that we've been around. We never really stopped. They thought that we kind of like, after that first album, we kind of like bubar, but we never. We play, and because throughout the years we just waiting for the contract to finish. Banyak orang tak tahu yang Carburetor Dung signed to VSP for 2 albums, and first album 93, so supposedly 94 we supposed to put out another album. But then we realized that VSP was not paying the actual amount owing to us.
So
Yes,
that's breaching
in terms of the royalty, and also the we started to realize that it's the music industry doesn't matter whether you're an independent label, because VSP is basically an independent label. The demarcation point for a lot of us, like, there are major labels. Major labels means like Sony, Warner, EMI, and all that. And then there's the independent label, like not related to all these big labels, but at the same time, they're working, the way they work, the way they exploit the bands still the same. And BSP falls under that lah. And so it's consciously we decided to just write because the contract I think goes on for 3 or 4 years, something like this, 3 years. We decided to write the contract. Sampai 96, 97 we started to write, to plan for our second album, which is not going to be under them. Because if we put out anything at that time, then it's going to be under them. So once the contract finished, we decided to do. But at the same time, kami tak pernah stop pun. We played shows, we do this, we do that, you know.
But you didn't have to make the album, like create new songs
No, we do. We create a songs. I mean, we
under this label,
under what label?
VSP.
No, the contracts is very simple. It's just you sign up for 2 albums, and maybe if you look, I don't know, because we lost the contract a long time ago. Maybe because usually the contract with these labels, the other caveat underneath, like very small writing, or maybe another 1 album or 2 album, which is what happened for what I heard with Butterfingers. Because I think they sign up for 3 album or 4 album, but there's another 2 that have to kind of like do to kind of get out from the contract.
Oh,
Yeah. So
Uish.
yeah. So this is happen to everyone in that cannot involve in a more proper kind of record
So
label.
this is what they mean by reading the fine prints.
Yeah. It's so important. Like I remember when OAG was going to be signed out on the Positive Tone, was it? Yeah. And
Positive tone, yes.
yeah, and then I Radi come up to me and I said, Radi, you should get the contract and then bring back to your parents or something, just to go through it before you sign up, you know, because then you know what you're doing, instead of just, because when bila you budak-budak, your late teens, early 20s, you got a bit of money because they give you a bit of advance when you sign up. You're happy already, but you didn't realize you're giving away a lot of stuff, because most of the time the advance you have to pay back from the sales of your album, you know. And this is how the mainstream record in the music industry works. Everybody kena, you know, like.
So Carburetor DUNG pun kena kasih duit lah banyak-banyak.
No, I mean, I think they gave us, I can't remember how much they gave us when we signed. Tak ingat dah. But then what I'm saying is like, kami realised then royalty wise they're not being true, and secondly we realised that when you tengok cassette, you are selling about, let's say at that time,
50,
maybe
90.
about 13 ringgit, somewhere around there. You know how much the band is making? 50 cents.
What?
Yeah.
What?
But we were lucky, we got 1 ringgit. So I think Carburetor DUNG got 1 ringgit per cassette. But they're like, you know, the cost of making cassette is like, at that time about RM1.50, something like that. So let's say printing, let's say to RM2 lah, you know. And they're selling it like, let's say 13. So let's say 50 cents goes to the band. Then how much they're making? And then you got, of course, the middleman and all that lah. But still, they're making a hell of money. Which is why a lot of artists throughout all these years, decades even, kena exploited like crazy. Which is why the people that in the end made a bit of money to yang cukup untuk orang finance the family or whatever, put food on the table, is the one that write the song. Like people like I'm Nasir make tons of money. I know Sari Amri and all those people, they make a lot of money in the end, because the song kept being played on the radio and things like that. But the bands that recorded those songs, they end up selling burgers on the street and this thing. And then also record company at that time purposely told the band not to write their own songs. They would say, "Oh, tak laku, takkan laku ini." So there,
psycho lah.
yeah. So I talked about this before. Di mana banyak artis atau creative people yang have a lot of talent were killed off that way, because they're not allowed to write their own song. I mean, maybe 1-2 song in the album, but the rest most of the time is written by proven people that is employed by the record company. So when you sign, immediately say, no, you're not going to do this song. So everything is all about making money. It's not about mengasah the talents that these people have. That's why you see dia macam demam. So let's say kalau that time is a rock time, rock leleh whatever it is, then it's all the band yang keras macam mana, bila sign you have to do this song, you have to do this style, you have to wear this and all this. It's all about marketing. But in the process of doing that, the band lost their soul, their the talent that they have, the latent talent that tak keluar. Aku pernah kerja dengan, when I was running my label Sonic Asylum, Sonic Asylum record was under FGM, so we share the same office space. And then there was this woman, can't remember dia nama apa dah, and then they were training her to sing macam Zaitun Saimaon, because Zaitun Saimaon was really big in the early 90s kan. Proven to be satu formula. We talk about formula lah. So I have to follow that way of singing, that song and things like that. So tapi this woman, bila dia nyanyi untuk aku suruh nyanyi kan, the voice, the diction semua, the phrasing macam Johnny Mitchell. Really, really talented. Tapi because the market would not like that, so they push her to sing like Zaitun Saimaon. Understand? This is just one simple example of how a lot of talent out there being killed off just like that.
Is marketing back then same as algorithm today?
Different. Algorithm is more about looking at, maybe there's similarity there, but not really, because algorithm is more about these days. Even the algorithm is no longer decided by people most of the time. It's decided by the algorithm itself now. It become that, So the algorithm economy is, how to say, it's not encouraging people to do something different. It's all about just following what is selling in that sense, that's been listened to like crazy.
What can get more tractions, eyeballs,
whatever, all this
clicks, likes.
So those aku rasa those days, in terms of marketing, it's all about like the way you look, maybe, and that's why they sign up bands who have like ada muka lah. Faces that can sell, or that certain outer surface that can sell. And then they will use the magazine like URTV and all these things to push it, and do all the usual marketing thing lah, like Hari Raya pakai baju Melayu, masak lemang, all those things that we dulu in the underground scene really macam totally against
you
lah.
need to follow the trends lah.
It become ridiculous lah. It's not looking at the actual art of it. It become just another marketing lah. You got bands yang tak boleh main tapi handsome. In the studio, other people are playing. The sessionist and everything.
Ada?
Yeah, ada. There's a lot. Yeah. Because they're selling the face.
Any bands that
the
do that,
image,
then yang sudah tidak ada sekarang? Any bands that were doing that yang tidak ada sekarang?
I don't want to mention the name lah. Tak mention the name lah. But there were. If you
like apa ni? Milli Vanilli.
Yeah.
Oh.
That Minimalist was one of the tragic examples lah. Yeah, but something like that. It's all business, man. A lot of the time.
But I couldn't imagine that happening in Malaysia. I thought,
Oh man, it happens everywhere when there's money to be made, then it happens lah. Yeah.
I thought rocker
It's almost
di Malaysia
it's almost normal and expected. Which is why back then in the underground scene, we are very wary atau very suspicious of people coming into the scene with a certain like contract or something like that. Always, because they will take over everything. Because once you contracted, that's it. You have to do this, you have to do that. You have to kangkang a bit more so that the gambar lah, wah, kangkang lagi.
Rock kangkang.
Yes. I went for this publicity shot and then this photographer said, oh, kangkang lagi. Okay, kangkang lagi. Okay, cantik. And I was like, I understand the fact that those images would sell lah, but at the same time, bila the image is stressed a lot more than the actual product that you have or the actual art, that kesenian yang you keluarkan, then that's something wrong there already. It becomes surface. It's not.
So that film yang apa tu, rock lah, rock apalah.
That all those is Mama. Arwah Mama Khalid comment on what he saw lah.
It looks legit.
No. It's a satirical film, a series of film that talks about what happened back then, and then most of the time those things happen. It's true, you see. It's not just jokes. Yeah,
Lawak sial.
Yeah, people took it. Satirical words should be taken seriously because it says a lot.
Yeah.
That, kalau you buat in a very serious manner, then it's quite boring. Siapa nak tengok? So you do it with satirical, then probably people be interested enough to go and watch it. Well, anyway, the whole music industry is the worst in terms of. Yeah, we know this. Everybody knows this. Which is why aku tak faham when a lot of us back then, you talk about the underground music scene, we were independent because we want to be independent. Nowadays, a lot of bands are independent because nobody wants to. There is no record label anymore in that sense.
Oh, you have.
So you just have to be independent because you have to how to work, But we were not. We were against that. We got offers to do this, to do that. We don't want. Like the early metal bands like Nemesis and Punisher and all this in the late 80s, they were offered. But of course, once they offered, they have to sing maybe one or two songs by Syed Amri or M. Nasir. They don't want it. They want to be themselves. They don't want to be anybody else. So, yeah. So this is the thing yang banyak orang tak faham. Come on. There is this. There's always a struggle lah. In terms of authenticity of being an artist and as being a product, So for me, those are really talented, but also at the same time a product. They're walking this fine line, but they manage to. Obviously I can see a lot lah yang manage to kind of like walk between that. But that's because the record labels encourage them to become themselves. They're allowed to be themselves, do their own thing, Whereas over here, they have a certain formula, then you have to follow that formula.
Baju apa?
Yeah, from the way you look up to the songs that who's written it, because when somebody written that song, it carry weight. Let's say this song, my song is written by M. Nasir, so it carries weight, and of course the radio would play it, and then of course at the same time they were paying off the DJs to play the song. This is well known as payola, where you pay the DJs to play. This pay to play. That's the term. This happen everywhere around the world. It's a global thing, in terms of mainstream world. Even to the point that when you put out an album, they would pay a certain writer, like let's say a popular writer in a magazine who be a bit critical and all that, pay them, and then suddenly the review is great. So yeah, it's all just playing with the sentiments,
influences
it's all fake.
nowadays.
Most of the time it's all fake, but people fall for it. Because most of the time people don't really. I don't think they really understand how it works, and at the same time they don't really care. They like to look at nice things, shiny, beautiful things, and they buy. Whereas the underground scene was against all that lah. But very simply, just want to say, aku tak realise yang banyak orang tak faham what it's all about. You know, it's about creating your own space where you can be yourself instead of subscribing to all this the whim and fancies of the market. You know? So that's what's all about. I mean, and this has been going on for decades. Even, you know, like if you go back to the blues time, even, you know what I mean. But as people, I think people know lah, yang the market is smart enough to know which one would sell and all that. And then let's say you got a very powerful band and everything. They take them, and then they you know, the tajam-tajam, tempat-tempat tajam yang a bit uncomfortable to the public. They asah jadi tumpul. So, and make it like nice to be sold to the, and then that's how they do it. Everything in terms of youth culture, everything has been, how to say, what's the word for it? Not taken over, but you know,
Sterilized.
adopted and sterilized, and and then sell. You know, that's how it's been. And then all these trends, actually not from the music industry. They look at what's happening, and then they would get into it and grab the best one, take them out, and then that's what happened in Nirvana and all that, or even Green Day or whatever.
Did your label try to do things to you to make you?
That's the thing about
sterilized?
VSP, that Valentine Sound Production, I think they started somewhere, I can't remember for sure, but I would think maybe late 80s they're already around. But they're putting out like compilation of dance music, whatever it is, like really pop music lah, that, but somehow when thrash metal happened in the mid 80s, and then slowly it became bigger and bigger and bigger, of course they are industry people, so they know what's happening, and we were surprised actually, because we know Kromok, which is a Malay metal band that was starting out in Sydney. I mean, they were studying at Wollongong. They are actually housemates of my classmate actually, and we got the demo. I think the demo was recorded somewhere 89 or 1990.
Oh, they started in Australia.
Yeah. Kromok
Okay.
started in Australia, and that was the first that was put out by VSP in terms of the more kind of like non-mainstream kind of release. It's a demo that they released it. That's the first one. But before that, there was few months before that, FTG put out their first EP
Okay.
under Current Guni or something, which is actually FGM from what I heard. So that's the point where suddenly the market, or at least the independent part of the music industry in Malaysia, started to realize that there's money to be made from this more how to say, harder bands, heavier bands, faster, whatever, And what I like about VSP at that time, they allowed us to just write whatever, and they're not controlling in the artistic sense. You were allowed to do whatever you want. Even the cover art, you can do it yourself. What they do was they sign you up, they give you money to the recording, and then they price the album and then sell it. Of course you're contractually binded lah, but that's what they do. And there's money to be made that way, you know what I mean? But they allowed, I think probably not the first time, but in a very general way, that you are allowed to be yourself. So which is why, like, when Capital Dang put out our album, there was no meddling, there's no arahan from them to do this, to do that. We just do what we want, and that's why I think a lot of the bands at that time is pretty authentic, very authentic. They are being themselves, So
How was the reaction of people when your first album came out?
I cannot remember actually, but I think when we first got our royalty payment. I think it was 3 months after the release. They were saying that we sold probably about in belas ribu lah, somewhere around that. I think that was the first and the last time they gave us out the royalty payment. But anyway, once we get out from that meeting where they give us the check and everything for the first 3 months sale of the first album, I met the guy who actually handles the storage. I mean the amount of cassette put out and things. And they said, no, your album sold a lot more than that.
Really?
Yeah, which is why we started. Oh shit, Then we realized that we should not do the second album with them because we know there's something wrong there already.
Oh.
See? Yeah.
Oh, kena main, Jo.
Everybody kena main. You know that like emissions have to go to courts to get out from certain contract. All these artists have to go. I mean, if they have enough money, they can employ some lawyers somewhere. Then they will fight it, because a lot of the people who do music, they don't really know these things. The music industry purposely make them ignorant of all these things. Yeah.
They
And
give you all
we because our market is a bit small, I don't think we ever have a bunch of people in terms of lawyers who specialize in the music business. They don't. So, but the smarter ones, when people have big money, they would cover themselves earlier on, they would know. But at that time, no. People went, kids when they, okay, take this 10,000 for the whole band, sign here. Of course, we happy, But at the end, okay, after 3 months, from the 10,000 we gave you, so the sales is this much, let's say 19,000, so we're going to cut that 10,000, because we gave you already, and the rest Yeah, that's how the music business work. If you remember, Steve Albini, who meninggal recently. He was the one who was really fighting against it. I mean, in the US, how the music industry is exploiting all the artists and things like that. Everybody. I mean, you go back to Elvis, even. I mean, everybody got it. Until a certain point in the career where they know, and then they started to. Recently, like, what's his name? What's her name? The artist who re-recorded her album.
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift re-recorded her album, right? Because of that,
Remastered.
because the control is, that masters, the recording master is not owned by her. So she had to, now she have money to re-recorded it and
it's good to know that she has a fan base yang ikut cakap, like, don't buy from that label, buy from my label, gitu.
yeah, but those nowadays you have a direct communication line.
Yeah.
Now those days you don't have that.
Tampal poster at least in hopes that people would read.
So, did you poster this one time I saw, I'm not gonna mention name again. Aku jalan kaki from my house dekat Bukit Silong going down to Bukit Bintang, and then on this street light there's this name, I will not mention the name, but a big artist lah. Hutang kami berapa ratus ribu lah, and then they have to pay, blah blah blah. All the along, like put it all these posters just to shame the guy for owing them money.
Along put their names.
I don't know whether Along or some friends of whatever, But what I'm saying is like,
But I've seen posters like this.
Yeah, because that's pre-internet, pre-social media lah, I think.
Oh, yeah lah. And it's not
Nowadays-
happening. It's not just happening with the underground scene. The one I saw was like,
I'm not talking about the underground scene here. I'm talking about
yeah.
the music industry in general. When you talk about an industry, then you're not talking about underground scene. The underground scene is not part of the industry.
True.
It's totally. Pardon.
Huh?
Hmm?
No. I'm saying it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. Mau tekan? Okay, sir.
Yeah.
I want to go to songwriting. When you were doing your first album, you told me a story when you had to rush. Tulis, cepat. So now with EP 1, you said there's a new song.
Okay. Okay. Let me show you the result of that.
Okay.
So where's the camera? Okay, this is
Ya, yang tu.
Songs for Friends Revisited EP number 1. Which is a part of a series di mana ada 4 EP. So this is the first EP. The content dalam ni is actually 4 songs
Okay.
from the first album, which was recorded and released 1993. So the project is called Songs for Friends Revisited because that first album is called Songs for Friends.
Okay.
And inside the Song for Friends ada 14 lagu. And for us, I mean, to explain why we're doing an EP sikit-sikit lah, I mean, incremental lah, because there's no time for a lot of us. Everybody's busy. Everybody got their own responsibilities nowadays. I mean, in terms of the band,
Sure.
for us to sit down and re-record those whole 14 songs gonna cost a lot first and a lot of time. Well, because most people must understand when you go to the studio, you have to block book the studio. Meaning, let's say you estimated recording the 14 song maybe about, let's say like kau cepat pun, let's say like a week lah kan. Then the whole week you have to block up because then you set up your drum sound accordingly, your amp sound, everything, so that when you record, it's sama rata lah. I mean, from one song to another, because you have 14 songs, gotta have the same setting. Understand now?
Yeah.
So to do that is almost impossible for a lot of us now who are really busy. So which is why I thought like, wow, why don't we just do EPs? And also nowadays people don't release albums anyway. I mean, people put one song sekarang ni nowadays kan, put out on Spotify or whatever. You know what I mean? So we thought, okay, that is workable. Then kita boleh. Then we just block book like the recording. We record like at Tom's studio, our guitarist studio. So that's pretty easy. And even then, from one EP to another, the sound is a bit different because, of course, you know, the setup is already different. You know what I mean? Like people, another band would go and jam in the studio. So we have to go reset and ambil gambar lah dekat amp and all that. But at the same time, the mic might be using different mic, things like this. So yeah, so the whole 4 EP yang akan keluar ni, yang dah satu dah keluar, I think there will be differences in terms of the tonality and I think for the album. But anyway, talking about writing the song. Alright, so the question was writing the song. Okay, when those days kami semua hang out dekat Central Market. The underground scene in Kuala Lumpur, everybody hang out at Central Market. It's the place where you can just go and there'll be somebody there, or there'll be like 20 there. You know, you can be sure there'll be friends there. And the whole point those days, even when you work siang hari, the whole point is about hanging out and lepak and teh tarik, whatever, you know what I mean?
Betul.
So there's one night, I think there's this band called Slum Scum. They were one of the first grindcore band in the lead. I think they was being signed up by VSP, along with, at that time, the first one was, I guess it was the band from Kelantan, Suffocation. Yes, Suffocation, and some of the other, even Sekanas and all this early band. So they were one of the first few bands from the underground who got signed up under VSP. And Eri, the main guy, came to hang out with us at the market. And hey Joe, he said, VSP be asking about KOTA DUNG. And I was like, oh, yeah, they would like to see you guys, you know. So I thought, okay. So we as a band had a meeting because we always wanted to be ourselves. We don't want to sign up to any label. Okay. Even back then, we already have that sort of mentality to, you know, do it ourselves. But how do we do it ourselves? Because we don't have money. Nobody have money in the band. You know, even the guitar, we don't have guitar. When we play gigs, like we just pinjam pedal. Ada pedal. Ada kabel.
Community lah.
So it's a dream for us to record our first album on our own. And also at that time we only have one song.
One?
We only have one song, which we recorded for a compilation that I was doing at that time.
Oh, okay.
I was running this label called Sonic Asylum Records, and the project was called A Circle of Friends, which is actually all the guys hang out Central Market.
Hmm.
We go almost after Central Market tutup about 10. We night bus. We go to Sentul to the studio and record. That is where Radi first recorded with Flop Poppy and Andy Flop Poppy, whatever. I mean, these are the gang, like Fato and everything. Those are the bands who were at Central Market who are not metal, because back then a lot of the bands are just extreme metal, either thrash, death, or black metal, whatever. So these are more kind of, to find a better term, alternative in that sense. So they're punk band. There's the first grunge band called Sludge, and all these guys And then, in all the project, I called in about 16 different acts, everybody was hanging out in the market, which is why it's called a circle of friends. But anyway, so KOTA DUNG recorded one song for that. The first song I wrote for KOTA DUNG called "You Are a Problem, Not a Solution." At the same time, I also have another band at that time called Deflowered. So Deflowered recorded one song there also. But anyway, when VSP called us in, we had a meeting, the band, and me and Fendi thought that, nah, let's not do this. But then the guys said, yeah, just do it. And I'm glad they said that, because kalau lah kami tak go and see VSP and get signed, I don't think the band would be around even, would last this long until how many years ago? The band started in 1991. So that's
91.
33 years, right? Yeah, 33 years already, the band. So we went to see them, and they said, how many songs you have? And I just kind of blurted out, I got 14 songs. When actually we have ada lagi satu lagu lah. And I said, all right, great. So we signed there, whatever. And then they said, and you guys get ready, then we're going to get the studio, and then you guys record. And you're like, wow, okay. And then so, from that day, aku kat rumah, I just sit down and wrote songs. I just keep writing songs. And then whenever I finish satu lagu, I call up the guy, because I live alone at that time. Still in Brickfield, but not that far from 121C, which is the main hangout, the main place. 121C is quite famous nowadays, aku rasa. They would come, and I would play on the cassette, and they listen. And especially Fendi, the bassist, he's the one who formed the band in the first place anyway. So he would be for me, I would listen to him lah. He would say, okay, I like this song. No, I don't like this song. So there are songs so selected. And then to the point,
you did more than 14 songs lah sudah.
Of course, which is why this series of EP, the last EP, the fourth EP, going to feature 2 songs which was never recorded. We wrote at that time, but never recorded. Because each CD will have 4 songs. In the album, there's 14 songs. So, kalau ada 4 EP, 4 songs, that's 16 songs. So we're gonna add another 2. That's what I'm saying. But anyway, even during the recording of Circle of Friends, the original one, I was still writing. I was, maybe the riff dah siap, but no lyrics, no melody. So I have to sit somewhere in the studio and then, immediately just come up with melodies and lyrics and things like that lah.
Gila lah, Jo.
It's gila. I mean, to think about it nowadays, macam mana aku buat? I mean, it's 14 songs, man.
Now I can do Suno.ai.
Yeah, you should play that one. So, yeah. So, Egan ada feed KOTA DUNG lirik macam celaka, was it?
I took 2 songs.
Yeah.
One is Hantu Raya Putrajaya.
Yeah.
And turn it into bossa nova. I'll show you later.
Oh, okay.
And then
But
the
one
other
aku dengar tu yang Sarifah Aini main lagu.
I call it Kak Pah macam celaka. That one jadi sial.
Yeah, nice. Tapi dia tak sebut, dia tak nyanyi the chorus lah.
It wasn't something off lah.
But it's good. It's really Sarifah Aini. I mean, you should play it for this show. Yeah, it should be fun. So I was writing. Yeah, but that's how I think I worked even when I started my own label after Sonic Asylum. I did another label called AGE, Alternative Garage Entertainment.
Oh.
Funny word.
Hey, wait.
So AGE,
I saw that.
yes. So
They-
AGE is like the first release is Pilgrim's second album, and Pilgrim's second album is a bit of another rush job lah, because the band, I give the band some money because they live in Kuantan, so I thought, you guys write songs and everything, let's do this, and then because there was a financier who's going to finance the proper recording, so they got the money, and then after I can't remember how long, sebulan or 2 bulan or something like that, I called them up and I said, hey, how is it going? I mean, do you have enough songs to do this album? I said, yeah, okay. So I booked the studio, and then and they came, stayed at my house in Briefy. I said, okay, let's listen, kita dengar lagu. And then turn out they only have riff,
Oh, man.
guitar riff,
Oh.
and the riff is not even like formed into songs. So then the studio is already booked.
Oh, man.
So I which is why kalau you dengar the album, there's a lot of the lyrics and the melodies and the songs was done by me with them lah. But I take the riff and then and even during that time also in the studio, I was still writing for them. There's a friend of ours, Wang, who, if I'm not mistaken, he ada buku. We always have book, and in the book there's this poem or something about a drunk guy on a bus. So I thought, oi. So immediately we just record that song. It's called The Dude Puke on My Lap, which is about this guy was drunk on the bus and start puking everywhere. Immediately we just record that. And so I think that's how I work lah, in that sense. Last minute. So
That's when the juice comes out lah.
somehow, yeah. Even my design work with sometimes, it takes me around the last minute and come out something which I like, yeah. So yeah, that's about the songwriting lah. But at that time it's just whack, and then bila you look back, what I like about it is that we didn't really try to sound like anyone, which is for me, I'm quite proud of it lah, because first of all, we never really played people's song as a band. I mean, in the early days when the band was called Stormfish, before I joined, they were playing covers at the jamming studio lah. I wish
Wait, what?
and League or whatever. Huh?
Your band?
Oh, this band was called Stormfish. Ikan dalam the drain. The drain is the river beside the Klang River lah, beside Central Market tu. That ada ikan, kami panggil ikan jacket. Because it's like you're not supposed to eat it, because it lives off all the shit of the city kan. So the band's got Stormfish. When I joined in, I changed the band's name to DUNG, because previously in 1989 I formed my first band called DUNG, but didn't work out. We only jammed like maybe 4 or 5 times, tak jadi. Yeah, I don't want to say why, but it never happened. Then I formed another band, couple of other bands actually, but the one that got a bit serious was Deflowered lah, which is an indie pop band. Because I was heartbroken at that time. So indie pop is, like macam obat lah. Yeah. So anyway, where was I?
You dabbled with a lot of bands you made.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's House, the Flowers Decay. Flowers Decay was me and Fato who went on to do Infection Maggot and Circle of Friends. Yeah. Flowers Decay was more like, I don't know whether you know the Cramps. Dia macam
I don't.
rockabilly, yang dirty rockabilly that later on become what they call a psychobilly. It's just one drum and guitar. I play guitar. Fatu was on the drum, and I think we have one rehearsal tape which is like pretty fun to listen to. And I also have another band with one Hamidi Hamid, who was he was a journalist with, he was Berita Harian and all that, and currently I think he's with DAP. He started I think he's like nowadays the political secretary to some of the DIP people.
Wow.
But anyway, we had a band and he was singing, and the band was called Triple M. M. Millions
Huh?
of tu kecil lah, tak nampak. Mad Muslims.
I've never heard of this band before.
No, because he never went out from the rehearsal studio. Yeah, but I do keep a lot of our rehearsals. It's a band that kind of like inspired by Crash, the more anarcho-punk band, Conflict and things like that. The lyric is very long, but instead of being anarchist like those bands, it's more socialist kind of ideas.
Okay.
So the ranting is more based on socialism and you know what's happening around the world in terms of injustices and things like this. So yeah, that's another band. There's also Zinc, which is me in Terengganu. Whenever I go back Hari Raya, I would go jam with these guys, Jijo and Kui, which is like they well known even now. And it's called Zinc. Zinc, like Atap Zinc, with a K. Yeah, so that one I recorded some of the rehearsals. I still have some. So there's a few bands, you know, while running Sonic Asylum Records, and after that, I started AGE early on as a company to do gigs.
Oh.
So yeah, it was me and my friend VJ, who was, I believe, was the original bassist for Flop Poppy. And VJ disappeared. I don't know what happened to him. So it's a long story. That's a long story. I mean, the whole Central Market thing, you know, there's so much to tell, you know. So yeah, so that you're asking me about the writing of the song. That's how I did it.
Oh. Full. Yang tu. Okay.
Ada yang terpotong tak?
This kind of reminds me why you are who you are today. Like you've involved with so many influential bands, and you yourself is still in the arena. You're still doing this. You're still. I mean, I see Andy Flop Poppy doing TikTok live, and I guess he still has that juice.
No, I mean I'm not saying all, but a lot of them in the early days in terms of the scene, they're very, very talented.
Yeah.
I mean gifted even, you know, like Radi is like so.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they will hang out at the house and then pick up guitar. Tiba-tiba dapat lagu lah. I mean, it's just like that. It just comes like that. You know, because I think it's the whole punk rock approach to things. You know, you just simplify everything. You just use 3 chord, but then you have a great idea about a certain melody. Then turn up. Whereas kalau you like so schooled in terms of to be perfect and everything, then it's gonna be difficult for you because you want things to be perfect. You want to have the intonation. You want to have a certain chord like this, you know, suspended 9, whatever the fuck, you know. So, so then it becomes difficult, you know. I mean, maybe some of us later on in life maybe want to pursue that sort of thing, but those days, I mean, that's the whole thing about punk rock. It democratized the whole process of being creative. And when I say punk rock in that sense, it doesn't mean just music. From writing, from creating lah. How you create with that approach of, you know, a very gun-ho approach. You know, some with a lot of thought, some just like that. You know what I mean? And that's how it was an explosion. I mean, a lot of people don't realize punk was such a huge atomic explosion in the late 70s because it suddenly people say pergi tengok band ni, aku boleh buat ni sebalik rumah, let's form band, you know. So everybody forms bands, you know. And then you don't need to even play guitar. You are the tong sampah, you just do, you know. There was a band called Test Department who just used tong sampah. You know what I mean?
Test
And
Department.
if you listen to Anstu Zander Nobaten from Germany, from Berlin back then, they just use whatever that they found. You know, the approach is very simple. Just you got this idea, you just whack. And that's how, like, when you go back to people like Radi or this guy that I mentioned, Fato. I mean, Fato was really one of the most talented. All these people. There's another guy called Ian John, who's really, really amazing. There's a few of those kids and hang out with us back then. That I saw like, wow, you know, these guys, they're gonna go far. You know what I mean? But of course, some of them got waylaid by whatever, like drugs, family, whatever. You know what I mean? But there's some, like people like Andy. You know, he's supposed to be there. Like Aru, coughing cancer, and all that. They were really people who are destined to be out there and do something. But the problem here, when you want to go to that sort of world, that more kind of mainstream friendly kind of movement, the music industry is not friendly toward that sort of stuff. You don't allow, I mean, they kind of like go by what's happening, what's selling and all that. Anybody who do something a bit different, I don't think this is going to sell, man. You know,
So before OAG with their Merpati Putih,
way before that. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean, did you guys have the same strong message before they went into all this lagu cinta and everything?
I mean, Deflower, my band Deflower was about love actually. Tapi unrequited lah. I mean, like, you know, really sad song, you know. But it's all about love. I mean, at the end of the day, it's still the most potent, you know.
I cannot imagine you
Emotion.
writing love songs.
Yeah, but in a very sad way. But you know, that, I mean, in Capital Dang wrote a song, something about our, what is it called? I think it was Our Voice or something. We're saying that, you know, people are singing love song and let's destroy their world, something like this. I can't remember the lyric now, but because at that time, so much, if you listen on the radio, it's all about that. And a lot of the time, the singers are singing not their own song. You know, somebody just sitting, you know, at their table kat rumah. Oh, let's write that song. I mean, it's not coming from the heart. You see, so that's why we're kind of like against that. You know, but of course we ourselves, you know, were, affected by the feeling of love and you know, heartbreak, whatever. You know, but I would say, when it's not about money and not been done for money, then it's a lot more real for me, at least. You know what I mean? It comes from, you know, the soul. You know, which is why when I was growing up, I don't really listen to a lot of the, maybe people can marah aku lah, but I don't listen to a lot of Malay kind of lagu, because a lot of the time it's just manufactured. It's very much manufactured. From Sarifat Aini, Ahmad Nawak wrote the song. You know what I mean? So,
any like really, really original Malay songs that you like?
Oh, there's a lot. I mean, stuff that was done by RIP record by Roslan Aziz and with Sila Majid. And all that. Those are really something else, you know. Because even though maybe they was written by somebody else, I don't care, because the way it was performed, the way it was recorded, tip top, man. And that's what I have a lot of respect for us. I mean, even though there was one time we were playing it at No Black Tie, and then he was so pissed off because he was a soundman. It was a show I did organized to benefit the food not bombs for the feeding of the homeless in KL. So, and he was so angry that people were standing up. It's a small room anyway. That he did, in the end, people don't listen to him. Sit down. How come? It's a punk rock show. No, you know, come on. So then they took all the mixer punya board, all the, you know, all the setup, so the sound goes like gone, you know, and he left. You know.
Oh.
But we got a very awesome sound engineer in the audience. Just, jom let me do it.
Wow.
Yeah. But what RAP did back then, Yes, really good. And I can see that the way they sign. I mean, so they sign out all these people that have a lot of talent, man. And they do their own thing. Like Zainal Abidin, his stuff, like man, that's like,
Yeah.
you know, you cannot deny that there's so much great stuff there. But they were allowed to be themselves. Understand? I mean that's maybe 5% of the industry, maybe less. The rest is all just going for, you know, what sells, what, you know, all this thing. Which is why our music industry is so dead. There is no continuation of that. People who are talented, they're dead. They're now selling burgers, you know, because they were not being allowed to become who they want to be. I always say this, imagine kalau blues gang was allowed to be themselves, they'd be one of the biggest blues rock band in the region or maybe the world even, because they're so good.
But why do I hear, I mean, songs from back then? I mean, this might be because of the label lah, mungkin. They sound like
Who?
Earth, Wind and Fire, like all these elements, like
Yeah, because that's what's selling at that time. The early 70s, I mean, Malaysian music industry always follow the trend of what's happening. To the point that when Bollywood became big, you know, the singers are singing that Bollywood style, even in Malay and all that lah. Tapi still, you know, it's trend, you know, because it's all dictated by the music industry. Which is why, again, I said the importance of the underground scene, or the importance of the independent, because they do what they want to do. Instead of, you know, being exploited by all these labels who just want to make money, make more money. You know, without caring about the fact that a lot of those people and the ones signed to and become the artists, they are actually very talented people who are not allowed to, you know, spread their wings. You know, so which is why we don't have that. Jarang sangat, you know, all of them gone.
betul?
Yeah.
Any new rock band that you find interesting? Local
Rock band.
nowadays. Ada
Uh,
ada yang ada harapan ke?
ada harapan. Oh, no, I don't know. There are a lot. Banyak. I think I never really seen them live though. Zip Zilla is very good. I think
Oh,
they're a very good band. There's a few more. There's, of course, Orang Planet. I like Orang Planet from here, from KK.
oh.
Orang Planet. I mean, musically it might be derivative of what I used to listen to when I was like 15. You know, like a recycled thing, but still, you know, they have. Okay, for me, you can have how many bands? You can have the most talent in terms of playing, technical abilities and all that, singing ability, whatever. But if you don't have the song, then I don't like it. It's for me, it's always about the song. Lagu.
You need to
When I say
create
about
lah.
lagu, I don't know how to say. It's not just about being catchy or whatever, but it fits, you know. It's very hard for me to explain apa dia lagu, tapi throughout all these decades of my life, I always go back to the bands that have the songs, you know. Even from Metallica, from the Kill 'Em All days to Slayer during, you know, Rain and Blood, whatever. Those are the songs that they have the songs, you know. There's so many bands who can play as fast or as jahat or whatever in it. But if you don't have the song, then you won't last. You won't last that long in that sense of your song. It doesn't have the longevity for that song to move on, to become not just yours. It become the public's. You know what I mean? In that sense. You know.
Let me understand this. When you say the song, it means that this band found themselves some kind of way, and
No.
they represent themselves in that song.
No. I'm talking about lagu-lagu yang diorang ada, maybe
Ah.
one song, maybe more, maybe the whole album even, that was written in such a way that is so good from my point of view. That kind of fit to that sort of substance lah, other substance in that sense lah, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Susah nak to tell you lah, because I listen to everything. I listen to like, you know, like nowadays, it's like psychedelic black metal. To to like, you know, like some of the, for me nowadays it's more metal lah, because metal, unlike punk rock, metal have the leeway or the areas where they can go progressive in that sense. They would progress beyond what has happened before. They would take all different elements and can become their own. So I listen to a lot of metal nowadays lah, but the more kind of, I would say prog metal lah, or not post metal, but metal, extreme metal with a lot of different influences. It was done in a way that fit with my taste lah, I guess. Like say even grindcore, kalau you dengar Parliamentaries, what's the name of the band again? They're like one man. It's like almost cosmic grindcore, you know. Like, it's like jazz grindcore, you know, something like this. It's like when kita dengar John Zorn, which is from New York, back in the 89, 90, 91, when he started to work with the grindcore band, Painkiller and all this album that he had. It's crazy. Bands that pushes boundaries, you know, not just trying to be the band that they like, you know. Yeah. If you want to be a band that you like, then you have to have the songs. Write great songs, then, you know. But the problem is people just want to, masa cakap aping kan. To tiru. Yeah. And the problem nowadays, a lot of bands tiru not just musicality or the chords or whatever, or the type or the sound or the tone of the guitar, whatever. It's straight to like how to wear the dresses, you know, how the hair, whatever. You know, like nowadays there's so many like stoner, heavy, doomy rock band, and it's all almost sounds the same, you know. And as somebody who's been living for a long time, I'm not going to say how long. You heard it before. You heard it in the 70s. You heard. I mean, come on. I mean, it's 2024. I mean, I always talk about this. I don't know why, but I'm in a way very frustrated. Sebab kalau you a young person, and then you wasted your talent by copying somebody, that's so wrong, isn't it? Like kalau when you're young, that's a time when you take risk. You ambil risiko yang ada because you're young. You have not much responsibility. You know, you just do what you really want to do lah, instead of trying to be somebody else. What the fuck for? You know what I mean? So because with that sort of attitude, then you can see musically, Malaysia would have something bit different. You know, you know, like nowadays you dengar a band, it's like, oh, I heard this from this band before. You know what I mean? So keunikan tu tiada, which is a shame. Because if you are like in your 60s, 70s, and you're playing blues from like from the 70s or from 60s, you know, that's fine, you know, because you just loving what's happened back then. You know, I'm fine, you know. But if you're young, do something new lah.
Betul.
You know, like there was one time I was in Tokyo. I went to a party lah, and all these young people, and we were sitting out, hanging out, you know. And then I heard all this DJ. This is like 2014, somewhere like that. They were playing the songs that I heard when I was like 15 or 16. And I don't see why they should. I mean, yeah, those were great times. They were like, for me, the late 70s was the best, but that probably because I was there at that time. The best era for really progressive music that tried to do something else, different. You know, post-punk really created totally new stuff, you know, by rejecting certain things, rejecting conventional kind of way of playing and all these things. So they created new areas, you know. But you know, when you are with a bunch of young people, like in their late teens, early 20s, and they were actually wow about things that you listen when you are at their age, there's something wrong, from my point of view. I mean, it's great that they appreciate that, but shouldn't they do something which is kind of like belong to their generation? Like when I first found punk rock, I was hanging out with the older friends of my brothers, and they were like totally into rock lah. I mean, from Deep Purple, heavy metal lah, early heavy metal, Led Zeppelin, all those things lah, and also a lot of blues and everything. At that time, it's already quite conventional lah. It's conventional rock lah. Okay? And so when I found punk, I was like 14, 14, and it sounded so different from what I've been hearing around me. Then immediately, that's my music, because it was my era. You know, so this is my thing. It's different. You don't understand this. You know, why are you having short hair? Huh? You should have long hair. Wear the deep, wear bottom. You know, no, it's different times already. So you, as a person that was there at that time, and it was done by people maybe 1 or 2 years older than you, then you feel like, wow, this is mine. This is my generation. You know. But nowadays, I don't know. I mean, in terms of the underground, I see the one that really embraced that is the guys who are doing noise now. A lot of manipulation of sound and things using, you know, what do you call it, like modular stuff that they use to put a lot of noise and things like that. I think that's because you don't see that in a more general kind of term. It was around from way back. We were, you know, when you were young, we were there, but it was really, really underground. It was really rare. It was really obscure. You know. But those guys are doing these things now. You know, like wow. You know, I think that kind of like when you have older generation coming to your show and tak faham, then you're on the right track.
Something worries me. This was repeated in front of me a few times this week.
Oh,
When people, you know what they say when you watch a Piramli film, like it's always entertaining even though you watched it like a few times. And when it was like the third or fourth time I heard it this week, I'm like,
but I think
am I
that
supposed to be annoyed with this? Like, because I feel like something's wrong.
no, I think that's it's a different matter. I think it's more about familiarity and also nostalgia, and also the how to say the general.
I guess it came from a good place when they said it, but it just shows that our society macam not progressing.
Yeah, I mean you don't need to talk about tak perlu borak pasal
Merisaukan ni.
tak perlu borak pasal music. You just look at let's say our film industry. Why it's so stuck in that? Because we always have censorship. We have so much censorship. We have so much walls around the creative space of that. Even in music also. You know, unless you in the underground scene. But making film is not as cheap as making like noise. You know, so it needs. I mean, even though now you can use your phone and stuff like that. But what I'm saying is like, as in a general term, we are a very the creative class of the country is a very suppressed class. A very suppressed,
Struggling.
yes, very. You know, they can't do this, can't that. Tak jajan makan macam mana and all this. I mean, you know. Which is why again it goes back to the fact that when you are like in your teenage years or early 20s or even mid 20s, why don't you just take all the risks? You can always go back to your parents to makan. I mean,
That's a good point.
yeah, but that's how almost every new thing that come up from the creative world come from that world.
Huh.
It come from all those people who don't care. You
I-
just
I-
do.
I want to shout out to my friend Chris Pereira. We always give a talk in colleges, and his point would be, since you guys are young, you're still studying. This is not his exact words, but he's like,
Yeah. Proper.
you have the permission to screw up, to
Yeah,
fuck up,
yeah.
to mess up things,
Yeah,
because
that-
when you're working, when you're outside, it's different. But now you're still here, you still have that safety net. You probably can do whatever you want, and creatively maybe you can venture out. Then if you do make it, then it's good lah.
Again, there is this thing about if you do make it.
Yeah.
See, there is that. I mean, young people should not think about making it in terms of success. You just do. Like back then we were just whack. There's no place to play. We went and knock on the door of some danduk club. Bang, boleh buat show sini? Yes, we just do. I mean, we just whack. Just do. Like fanzine, we just do. Tak ada typewriter, we just by hand. And then photostat. It doesn't matter. You just do.
Yeah.
But when you get older, then you become a bit more
Calculated.
Oh, I have to have this, I have to do that. Oh, I have to plan. I mean, then it become convoluted lah. I mean, I miss those days when you just fuck it. Let's just do this. What I mean, and you see less and less and less of that nowadays. Like even the bands nowadays, you see young bands, they're really, really good. I mean, I tell you, if you're an old band, you're going to be playing with young bands, you have to be really scared. Because they are really, really good. Even if the music you don't like, the type of music you don't like, but they play really well.
You're gonna be playing. I mean, you are playing with younger bands. How do you feel?
I'm glad that there's Atoto. This is a show that we're playing in KOTA KINABALU on the 5th of October. The Lika Skate Park. Yeah, Lika Skate Park. So the band, we have our kind of like generation in that sense. Atoto, which is from Ipoh. Extreme metal band, death metal band. Really great guys, So, I mean, yeah, we're from the same era. And then we got the younger guys like Couple, which is Ideal and his band. And they're from the late 90s. And the same with Nice Stupid Playground from Kuching, which is a great indie pop band.
Nice to meet you, Playground?
Yes. So
Okay.
that's so Atotok, Kabupaten Dang, Couple, Nice Stupid Playground. And then there's local bands. I don't really know. So I cannot say whether I like them or not. I kind of listen. What I'm saying is when you say about you be playing with younger bands, yeah, we have our gang also now.
Oh.
So we're not so scared.
Okay lah.
But what I'm saying is nowadays,
You have your posses lah.
young bands nowadays, they come very well prepared. They most of the time when I saw them, very well prepared. They have the equipment. They've been learning their guitar through YouTube, whatever. So maybe that's a guitar instructor, whatever. That really well. Us back then, we, of course, like I said before, tak
Central market.
ada guitar, tak ada ni. We just whack, And when we, I mean, everything we just make do what we have. And the scene was about, a very close-knit community. I mean, you can pinjam here, you can pinjam there, whatever, Now, Kabupaten Dang have a song called Payday, which is about that. Which is about how important it was, like that. This whole kind of like a camaraderie among us, the misfits, who cannot really fit into the normal society. That was us, and we managed to have this sort of a community that is, trying to break some walls at the same time, trying to be ourselves, at the same time trying looking for ourselves, because you still, don't know where the fuck you are in that sense, but the community was very helpful and very supportive of all of us, which is why, like I said again, I don't know whether the current scene would have that. I can still see in the DIY punk scene in KL at least, of that. I don't know about the rest. I hope they're still there lah, because it's so important, Yeah, what were we talking about again? Lupa.
Anything.
Yeah.
But I,
Don't stop the skill.
okay,
No bad.
low bet. Oh. Hello. Low bet ka.
Kita running again ni.
Itu kita kasih place je lah sampai dia gone.
Tak boleh charge.
Rolling.
Oh, gonna take time. Is
I
it?
think I got one more. Boleh tukar. Since we're talking about intergenerational stuff, how do you keep sane? How do you keep healthy? I mean, Uncle Joe, how you don't.
I don't know, ma'am. I think I'm quite lucky in that sense. I'm
You
thankful.
have an aura that is a boy. You are still excited. I'm talking about how you are lit up when it comes to these kind of elements. You're not like some visual artist I know, like I've seen that before. That kind of attitude.
Yeah, when you get older, you have that. You can't really escape that. That
I don't see that in
that
you.
sort of jadedness.
Yeah.
But if you love something wholeheartedly, then you see a lot of great things in it. Then you'll be excited for it. For me, it's always been about the scene, the kids. We call the scene the people in the scene as kids.
Yeah.
So, I always love, because it's where my world is actually. It gives so much inspiration, so much education, so much more than just entertainment to me. And if you look at, I'm talking about punk in that sense. It's so much more than just rock and roll entertainment. It's a lot more than that. Self-empowerment is one of the biggest things that people forgot. That it allows people or a person to reach for the best version of what they want to be. You're allowing yourself to reach out for something that almost some people say, oh, you can't do that. No, you can do it. Just do it. So that's the core of the matter. And that for me is has always been inspiring, and why I'm so excited I'm excited for young people to do their own thing. Because there's so much potential in everybody. You should do that. Why? I would in a way kind of blame how society treat young people, I guess. There's no trust. They're always looking at the dark side of the matter.
Okay. Okay.
So the society, when they look at young people, they always look at the bad things, the negatives. Come on, if you want to look for the negative or the darker side of life, that's always there. It's always there. Why you look at that? Why don't you look at the bright side? Always look at the bright side of life. That's a motto, man.
Monty Python.
Yeah. That's why. I did a talk in Nepal years ago. After that talk, I was talking about the underground scene, telling people what it's all about, how it works, and things like this. And a bunch of, I think there was 4 couples, older couples, who were worried about their son and daughters, come and talk to me after the talk. And we sat down and talked, and I told them, you guys always think about the dark side of the what they're gonna go into drugs or whatever. It's always there. But if you look at the positive side that your son or daughter is doing their own thing, for them to do their own thing is already a win, man.
True.
Things that they want to do, which will enrich them spiritually, whatever, I mean, because they're doing themselves. It's like when you learn, if people just ajar you without you having anything of yourself invested in that, then it will go masuk tinggal ni keluar sini. It has to come from them. They have their own effort to do their own thing. Then you have to support that. Why all these parents trying to stop this, stop that? Isn't it the most important thing is to see your kids or your children happy? Why you want them to be unhappy? I don't understand. Of course, there are elements of control you have to do lah. I mean, that's certain things. Maybe some friends are gonna get more the harder drugs thing and all that. Yes. My dad did that, but he allows me to be who I am. So, what I'm saying is like, if generally, secara umumnya, orang-orang kita always look at the dark side of being young. When there's a lot more, huge, the potential of these people to do great things in life, which you should bagi, leeway bagi, encouragement and things like this. I'm not talking just about punk or whatever, but that come from punk rock,
Understand?
That, for me, because you must also understand, when you're young, you've been fed, you've been groomed, you've been told to be this, to be that, and you've been already prepared for this idea of a person that the parents have. But this is a person, not some robot that you should, if this young kid wanted to do something that he wanted to do, then encourage him to do that. Then he become his own, then he be happy. Happiness at the end of the day is the most important thing, kan? You can be rich, kaya, whatever, or lebay, whatever, but you like, then what's the point? I don't understand this. Why you choose that?
You talk as if you are fulfilled. I feel like you're very happy.
That comes from, I think, when talk about my personal.
Is there anything that you
feel.
regret you never done before, Joe, when you were young? Because I feel like you're very free.
When I was 16, I think 16. I had a pen pal, and I have several pen pals. I was his punk. We call him punk pals. That punk with punk writing to each other, via snail mail. There was a band, I think it was in Zeta, who said, "Joe, why don't you come and join us? We are forming a band called The Force." I was like, "Whoa." I told my mom, "Can I go to England?"
15.
Yeah, 16, I think it was 16. So what I did was I designed the logo for the band. Like the FORCE, right? The Force.
The Force.
So the O become this big I. Like. That was my design. Send it to them. I cannot go. Well, okay, you're talking about regrets, right? I mean, I wish I could have been there. I don't know. There's a lot of things, of course. Throughout your life, there's a lot of things that I always think that if I go on with Sonic Asylum Records, it's gonna be like really something else. But I stopped because the company was funding it was not paying the bands that my friend's band, which I signed, proper. And for me, it's very, very important to treat people as best as you should treat them. You don't. I mean, why do I want to have my friend who I signed in my label to be paid like really crappy shit? Why do I want to go on with that? I mean, there's something wrong there, kan? So I stopped. There's a lot more. I mean, I have so many. I was doing so many things back then that I could, if I go on with it, it could have become like really something else. I don't know. I mean, the labels, the gigs I was doing, you know, the songs, the bands I was in, I could, you know, they could have been like, you know, much more productive than it is. But I was doing so many things at that time.
Yeah.
I would say I'm more like a jack of all trade, master of none, or something, something like that. Because my hand was everywhere. Like I would design flyers for bands, for gigs. I would design logos for bands. I would do this. I would organize shows. I would do my fans. I would do my fanzine. I was writing for the Star and the newspaper and the Sun later on and all these things. I was doing so many things, you know. So I would, if we talk about regret, maybe I should have concentrated on one thing. Then it could have been. Yeah.
Because when you were saying all these things, I in my head I was like, yeah, but you were doing them. But yeah, you finished off nicely lah. If you only focus on one, then you would be probably an expert.
And also, if you are,
but you won't be Joe Kid if you didn't do all this.
doesn't matter. I mean, what? I mean, I'm not here to be joking.
No. It might not matter for you, but I guess you won't be our Joe Kid. Because we feel like
Maybe you can be that Joe Kid who did the best kway teow ever. You know? You know, I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's
Betul
not,
lah.
no, that's not that. I mean,
Astaga.
I'm just saying that.
yeah, you got a
I
point
was trying to say that one of the things that I think is important is for you to always criticize yourself. I think, and I have this tendency to sabotage myself.
Why?
I don't know why. Like something that things that going really well, suddenly I just like, fuck this. That is, I think I don't know where that comes from, but I have that tendency to sabotage things that going really well, and yeah,
Wow. Okay.
yeah. I think that's my psycho bit, I guess, somewhere. Yeah, but at the end of the day, I'm very happy with what I've done, and I'm still doing it, and even though there are things that I wish I could have been done better or could go longer or whatever, you know what I mean. But I think I do. I think I do achieve a lot of
Yeah.
stuff that I think that you know, and I'm still doing stuff like that, even though I'm supposed to be retired now and things. that was the plan. Jaga ayam,
I don't see retirement as something.
tanam sayur, tanam jagung or something. Read books. My ambition was to be a fisherman. You got a small house just beside a beautiful beach in Terengganu, and then you just go fishing, and then you go home. You got all your records, play your records, and you got your great books and your movies, and you just
Makan ikan.
live the rest of your life just like that. You know. Awesome.
Isn't here almost
Yeah.
like that?
There's a picture of that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see it's forming. But I do have plans. I got my rice cooker archive, which I really want to go proper. Because all these years, it's been going for quite a while, but always been stunted, you know. Never really lift off, you know. Hopefully, because once we move here, everything is here, then it should go proper. And then, you know, I mean, the plan is to put out books, to put out podcasts, to you know, reissue all recordings, to restore all these footages, whatever. I mean, this is the thing that I really want to do.
That's not retirement, Joe.
For me, it's retirement because I'll be doing some things that I truly love.
I mean, I guess you don't have deadlines. You don't have meetings. Is that what you imagine?
in 1998, I stopped writing for the newspaper And then I became a freelance designer, which was like, I think one of the best decisions I've ever made, because the level of stress just suddenly just drops. So whenever somebody have a job for me, I would do it. Kalau if I already have enough money, I said no, I don't want to do it, and I can wake up anytime I want, and just hang out and things like that. I mean, I not kaya raya, but I have enough, and for me, I think that's contributed to my health. That I live a less stressful life for a long time already, since about, if it's 98, then it's about 25 years ago. And then
I want your life.
yeah, but that is a conscious decision, because I know earlier on that I would not make money from the music that I truly want to make. So fuck it, try to find a job that we pay that you love, and through making fanzines back in the day, and also I used to do collages when I was younger, I went into this design thing, and but you gotta have the tools. So in 1995, I think, or 94, 95, 94, 95, I borrowed money from my brother. I took 3,000 of him, and I bought a Mac.
Oh.
Because at that time I was hanging out with this guy, what's his name, Cody. Cody was working with Pineapple something, which is the company that brought in Macs into the country. They were the one who imported Apple Macs into Malaysia. But he went through some personal problem. He had a nervous breakdown, so I took care of him, in my house. So he was having a episodic kind of depression. But at the same time, he was telling me about how great it is, like the Mac, the software from Illustrator, Photoshop, and all this. I was like, oh, okay. Look, I can see that maybe this is something that I would love to do. So when I borrowed the money, Cody brought me to this shop and told to that guy, if you don't install Photoshop, Illustrator, Quad Express, then this guy will not buy it off you. So because you have to buy the software, right?
Yeah.
So okay. So they put all the software for design in that small. It's a pizza box Mac, LC475. If you wanna check.
Is that the white and colorful?
It kind of beige. It's not white. It's like a pizza box, and then there's a monitor. The monitor is about, I think it was 14 inch. Yeah, and of course it's oblong because in the tube can.
Okay.
So there, and then a printer, Stylewriter 2, I think it's called. And then I didn't go out to Central Market that much for almost a year. I just learn and study myself. I went to there was a place in Bukit Bintang where they sell all the pirated softwares and also tutorials and things. So you buy all the CDR, and then you go home, install, and then
Sungai Wang.
yeah, no, Imbi Plaza.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, Imbi Plaza. So I was always buying Macworld, which is the Apple MacBook magazine, and learn everything. I mean the tips and everything, to the point that by 98 I can start doing my own design. And at that time, if you do like a website for a company, it'll make you $40,000 around it.
Wow.
Because nobody was doing it. I mean, not many lah. So
Wow.
so at that time it was great, and that kind of launched me into this kind of my own. I never really have a card even, because there's always be work, coming in. So I did that, and until I think it was last year that I decided to stop. Because it's just getting. I mean, one thing about. I mean, that's the downside to being a freelance designer, website or whatever, or writer, or. I do those things. Right? I write, I design posters, book layout, all those things, websites. all that. The one of the major thing is like nightmare clients.
Oh.
Yeah, clients who just do not understand how it works. You know, like,
Do you know who I am? I'm joking.
nothing like that, man. So it just pushes you to a certain point that you start thinking, what the fuck am I doing? You know what I mean? Because the pressure was too much, and they kept want to change things. You know, I mean, I managed to handle it for a long time, but on the end, I just no, fuck this shit. You know, because I have so many projects which I want to do, which always fall sideways because of the need to make money. To there's a lot of things I wanted to do. My book is still hanging there. I'm writing, but it's hanging there. It's not been finished yet. It's been going almost 10 years now. You know, there's a lot of things I want to do. So I think it's high time that I reject all that, you know, and concentrate. That's why the band is suddenly kind of become alive again. And it's also because last year was the 30th anniversary of the first album. And like I said, we wanted to. I mean, there'd be calls from our friends who say, "Why don't you reissue the first album? Why don't you issue the first album?" You know. Despite the fact that I don't really love the first album, I have to say that. The thing was, maybe not many people know. I kept explaining this to a lot of people who asked me to reissue the album. The album was sold away by VSP to EMI somewhere in the mid 2000 without telling us. We didn't know about it. I mean, VSP should have called us up. Hey Joe, you know, why don't you buy over this right for the recording? Because it actually belonged to them because they financed the recording. I understand that, but they should have at least asked us instead of just selling it away. And funnily enough, throughout all the many bands that were signed by VSP, the one that got sold was only two. DUNG and Chroma. The rest, no. Yeah. So anyway, that first album is now belonging to EMI. I think, but EMI, from what I know, have closed office in KL. Now it's being handled by Universal and all these things, you know. So, with that in mind, we cannot release the album on our own. We have to work with EMI. Maybe we have to pay them some money, whatever. But they also cannot reissue it because the songs are ours. Understand or not?
Oh.
So there's two main rights when it comes to a recording. There's the songs, and there's the actual recording. So the recording was owned by VSP, but the songs are ours. You see. So it's hanging there, which is why, and also, I never really liked the recording of the first album. I love some of the songs. I don't like some of the lyrics, but so then I think it was last year, somewhere September last year, me and Fendi started to sit down at my house in KL, and we started to work on the songs. Like, why don't we do this way? And then we decided not to even listen to the original song. We restructured the song through memory, like, you know.
Oh.
And then we added certain things and stuff like that. So, like this, the first one, the EP one, have 4 songs. And you got Don't Know, which is like the first song here is called Don't Know, and it's about ignorance, or willful ignorance, or what we call ignorance, which is aggressive ignorance. Bodoh sombong. So we reworked that song, but of course 7 October happened. 7 October happened, and then there's suddenly Gaza, you know, this genocide starts to happen and everything. So of course we cannot escape from that. You know, me, I was always online, like looking at what's happening and things like that. It really affected me because since aku budak lagi, this thing has already happened. And how come throughout all this like 50 over years, if you go back 75 years, it's still going on? Why, you know? So we restructured the song lyrically and also musically a bit. So if you listen to the Don't Know, now it's on Spotify, look for it. It's different from the first one. topically it become mainly about what's happening in the occupied territories of Palestine, and how it was funded by the need to have these forever wars, because war make money. It's about how people like how to say laundering money through war. The Americans give money, the money goes back to them through businessmen and everything. And of course, like people die, it's just collateral. It's nothing. You know what I mean? So that song is all about that.
Huh.
And the second song, I can't really see.
I was like,
So and then the
glasses.
second song is called Slam Safe Today, which is for me lagu dengan lirik yang paling cringe kali untuk aku lah from the first album. Because it's about being thoughtful at the shows. When you are slamming, when you are, we call it slam dancing those days. I don't know what they call nowadays. You take care to not hurt people, because these are your friends and this also your brethren. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So people care for each other while having this kind of violent fun at the same time. So Slam Safe Today is about that. And that song also, we didn't change the lyric though. We thought about changing it because it's so cringy. But I think we managed to make it less cringy somehow. So it's different. The next song is Carburetor Dance. Carburetor Dance is actually based on, Khalil Gibran, the writer, the poet. So back in the late 80s, early 90s, Central Market, the kids then was reading a lot of Khalil Gibran. The books were being passed around. The message of serenity and peacefulness and respect for others and all these things was really important for a lot of us. So that song is actually about, it's a poem. It's a bit convoluted. If you look at it, it's, what the fuck is this, But mainly it's just about empathy to your friends who are having problems, or the people on the street who are having a hard life, So this song, we re-record it. We don't change it much, but I think it's very different from the so far also. And the last song, the fourth song, is called Jump Down Lemonade. Jump Down Lemonade is a love song. Okay? So it's basically a song written for a person who just cannot fall in love in the way that you should fall in love, from my point of view, where when you fall in love, you fall in love. You don't hold on to anything. You jump. So Jump Down Lemonade is about that. It's about you go along with it. Whatever happen, which is in a way a part of that punk rock philosophy in that sense also, you just do, If it fail, then it fails. And that's a lesson. That's fine, you learn, So it's the same. The song Jump Down Lemonade is about, come on man, fall in love. Why you have to I got this other person that I think I like, or I don't want to feel hurt, all this thing, So that song is about, why don't you just fall in love, just really get into it instead of trying to hold on. You always have this backup plan.
Just make it simple.
So that's the fourth song that came out about 2 weeks ago. This came out about 2 weeks ago. And if you look at the cover, there's this cat holding a flower. If you look at the first album cover, there was a painting that I did. It was this guy in leather jacket, but the painting was so bad you can't really see it. In a theater mask, very sad theater mask, golden I think, and then with a flower. And the song and the album is called Song for Friends. It's basically about, love for not just your friends, for everyone. That it's very hippy dippy in that sense. If you want to talk about it. So I thought it'd be great to have this sort of kind of continuation of not straight copy of the first album, but at the same time have the elements of the first album. And when I was doing the artwork, I was using person lah, tapi tak jadi. I mean, it become. Then I thought, then somehow, that a cat, come up to the mind, and then, wow, maybe we use cat. And then I just put it up to the band in our WhatsApp group. Yeah, this works.
I know you're a cat person.
Yeah, of course. How can you not love cats? I do not understand. It's, people who don't love cats.
I don't love cats, but I feed cats almost in a schedule every day. Breakfast, lunch, dinner.
And you do it with them. Like that. Instead of, oh, come. Kitty.
Yeah, I did the first one. The macho one. Makan. Jaga rumah.
So yeah, so that
So the rest of the gang are cat people?
yeah, I mean our other, because we have two drummers now, Hassan and Hasbullah Hassan. So Hasbullah Hassan is Bullet. Hassan. So Hassan is the newest member lah, but he's been playing with us for years now. Because whenever Bullet cannot play, then Hassan would come in, and I think he's great. He's awesome drummer, different from Bullet, but fitting what we want to do also. My whole point about, I think why the band kind of like stay together.
Mati. Kita pakai audio saja sudah. Tidak boleh diselamatkan sudah.
Teruskan.
Ya?
30 minit.
I was just talking about the band, right? I mean, why the band stay around? And we are so happy we stay with the band because we have good friends. I think that's the thing about the band that kept it going. First of all, me and Fendi, we are like brothers. And then me and Bullet, he's my first friend, my first good friend from the scene when I first go to KL in 1988. So, and then you got like Alak, which is like a great guy, amazing guy, and Tom, which is like, he's another great guy. And then this is why the band, we don't feel like we wanted to stop because we still have so much fun together. Which is going back to the fact of why, the band members, the band is still around and still doing stuff and things like this. People always say, "Oh, Joe, you're doing a comeback." No, we've been around. We never really stopped. I think
We're just late.
no, we're very, very late, very lambat with our stuff. But I think we put out good. Instead of putting a lot of recordings, that's, for me, it's not that great. I think we put out good stuff. So I think by being more quality instead of quantity. So I think, at least from my point of view, but the main thing is still the camaraderie between us, the friends in the band. Nowadays I would say my closest friends are the band. Apart from Ilan.
Oh,
Yeah, my closest. But what I'm saying is that it's like a family, And we got Manan, who's another guy, who's a part of us, even though he didn't play anything, but he's a part of us for a long time. When we travel, he would drive, he would do the logistical part of it. We call him the CEO of the band. And now we got like a few more friends who helping us out, like Kade Chan, which is really, selflessly helping us with the guitars and things like this. And we got like Choi, who's handling the merch and everything. So we have a team that's really, really, I would say we are very lucky to have this sort of situation. And of course, me and Fendi, of course, we have always been great
you guys don't
friends.
fight?
Huh?
You guys don't fight?
No.
Really?
Yeah, we don't. We don't fight.
Wow.
Yeah, we don't fight. What?
Even like passionately because of art, because of the songs.
Huh?
Gila, relax.
No, which is right. It's very chill. The band is so chill and so.
Or maybe because you guys are so busy every time you meet, you have no time to fight. No time for bullcrap or emotions.
I think
or
we always allow the band members to be who they are and to do what they want to do. Like, let's say if somebody asks, oh, Joe, can the band play there? I say, I like cannot do it. Fine, you know. We give all this leeway. I mean, we don't have to do it. No, you know. We so chill, hang out, you know, go makan, masak together, whatever, you know what I mean. And the best time is when we traveling, like when we play in the Philippines or Indonesia, you know, the days of traveling together is amazing. Where suddenly people just become beruang because, you know, the snoring, you know, and all this thing, you know what I mean. And it's amazing. Like recently in Penang when we played, it was good. So people ask, so do you ever think the band gonna be speed up? Why? I mean, there's no reason. I mean, we can't even stop for a year, and then we're gonna start again because you know, yeah.
when you guys are invited to play or you prepping for a show, are you guys like this needs to be perfect? The lights, the sound, the
No.
ambience,
No, not really.
Just
I mean,
do.
nowadays maybe sometimes nowadays we might kind of think, right. Recently, luckily, we managed to get Kuzai. I don't know if you know Kuzai, for me one of the best soundmen in the music scene. I mean, not just the underground, whatever. I mean, he take care of sometimes search and all this. So he took care of our sound the other day in Penang. Tip top, awesome. And he's a friend. He used to be the drummer for the Bollocks back in the 90s. You know, so he goes way back. And it's, you know, and he just, you know, and then we're not like, you have to come or whatever. No, he just like, he's, yeah, come on, you know. A lot of things not really planned even, you know. We are so chill, man, which is why, I mean, the first album came out in 93, second album was 1998, and then the album was 2012. You know what I mean? But it's fine with us, you know. People say, you know, it's fine with us. It's how it is, you know, because we don't put too much pressure on us. I mean,
betul juga kan, like it's not like you guys are like productive.
no, but the recent time is, I mean, before this we put out an EP, you know, and now we put out this, and then we got another 3 coming up, you know, hopefully before the end of the year, which is like really crazy. But we already record the another 4 songs is going to be released very soon. It's been remixed again because we got a new pair of speakers in the studio there now, and we recorded 2 songs, so there's another 6 songs, you know. Another 6 songs to go.
You realize you like macam makin tua makin exciting.
I think this is because I have stopped doing my design work. So suddenly I'm doing the thing that I really love to do, you know. I think that it gives you, I think maybe that's the fact, you know. And I'm in a happy place, you know. I think I am in a happy place, you know. Also, it's important, I think, maybe I should share this, that as a person you should kind of understand and love yourself. I mean, and most importantly, be comfortable with yourself. You know, not be too stressed about what people think or whatever. It's just be who you are, you know. And then do the thing that you truly want to do, you know. And then I think you're gonna have a great life in that sense, you know. You don't need to kowtow to anyone. Kowtow to yourself.
You said you were writing a book.
I want to write a lot of books.
Is writing helping you with mental health?
Writing is awesome, man. When you got lost into it. I mean, recently I did a screenplay for a film, which is now, I mean, we sent it to Fina to see what's gonna happen. And that process really, I don't know. I mean, it get me back to the love of writing, because how the depth of things, that imagination that suddenly comes through is amazing. I mean, from a very simple premise, you kind of like blown it up into this whole story. And what I did was we underlying, what do you call it? There's another story that going underneath there without being seen, unless you kind of like go through the dialogue, then you can see there's another story underneath. Things like that, and I learned a lot. I read about screenplay, how you do it, and things like this. You know, when the first time I sent it, I thought it's done, it's great. I sent it, the first draft. Then I realized that I didn't know how many words would make how many minutes.
Oh.
I sent 35 pages, and from what I know, one page is 1 minute. So I only have 35 minutes of a film. So then when I got to know about that, then I could start to flesh it out more. And then there's other element that I put in that, you know, and things that happened to me or myself, I put in there. Some bit I kept maybe for the next one or whatever. But the process of writing that screenplay, really, I highly enjoyed it, you know, because it just come, you know, you just write, and wow, great, and then you put some scene that, oh, this is funny, you know, and then you give it to your friend to read, and you're like, oh, yeah.
So the experience is different than writing songs?
Writing songs is I think this is why writing songs, this is easier, because we are rewriting or re-engineering old songs. It's a bit easier. I mean, what we need to do was maybe find a middle eight, which is last time when we play, we just like two parts and that's it. There's nothing in the middle, none of the solo, whatever. So these days, I mean, when look at it, or maybe you put this beat, or maybe do it a bit faster. Or, you know. But if you're writing fresh new song, that comes a lot more real in that sense, that because for me, the music, the lyrics that come with the music have to really have to correlate or kind of like support each other in terms from the thematic feel to the way it's been, the melody and things like this. You know, I'm not saying, you know, I write a lot of songs. I mean, when I'm in front of the computer, working, do my design, whatever, there's always a guitar. Yeah, and you know, back in the day, like when you do Photoshop work or maybe After Effects or things like this, like heavy, intensive, you're gonna take like you do one effect and one effect using a plugin, whatever, and it takes like long time. Then you pick up the guitar and start
Rendering.
playing. And then most of the time during that time, there'd be like songs that form. Yeah, songs suddenly form, and then where's the recorder? Nowadays you got a phone lah. You know, back then I have to find like a tape recorder, and then so I have a lot of those songs, of those never fully flesh ideas. There's a lot. It's the same with stories. I have a lot of stories that I have the skeleton of it, which I've never really sit down. And I think this is the time for me to kind of like do the things that, you know, I've been, you know, keeping, like maybe someday I'm gonna do this. You know, I think that someday is now.
What kind of stories do you like to write?
Whatever. I mean, there's one is about this guy who robbed banks, and because of him being rejected by a woman.
Oh,
There's one about this guy who's a loner. I like that when there's a lot of people, like big city, there's this loner. I like that scenario.
somehow marginalized people.
Not
emotionally.
not necessarily they are being marginalized, whatever. I mean, they might marginalize themselves. You know that not necessarily there's a sad thing. You know, These are yeah. I
they
mean,
want to be.
people always look at when people are lonely, they're sad. No, I mean there are people who are who love to be alone. You know, and yeah. I mean, this again goes to the fact that if you're comfortable with yourself, then you can be anywhere you want, and anywhere people put you, you'll be fine because you're comfortable with yourself. You are not in the process of looking for yourself anymore. You know, I mean, when you're younger, you are looking for, which is I say again, why the underground scene in Central Market back then was really, really important for many of us because the first scene, there were not many kids from KL itself. The early underground was made up of people from outside of KL, from Kelantan, from Kedah, from Penang, from Johor, you know, from Terengganu, who kind of like escaping from their respective place. If you listen to the first album, there's a song called Farewell. Farewell is about that. It's about saying farewell to the world that you have before, but somehow you feel that you are being restricted by the imposition of hope from your family or from the outside world. That when you at the same time you want to be yourself, but at the same time you don't even know what you want to be. So you need a ruang, a space which allows you to look for yourself, and that was Central Market, Kuala Lumpur, for a lot of us, because it allows you to find yourself. Not you're already branded. You're already like branded to be like this. You're already groomed to be like this. No. So, so Farewell is a song about you going out into this big world. Don't know what the fuck gonna happen. But I think that's why I belong. You know what I mean? Something like this. So, a lot of my songs are like that. I mean, it's I would say personal things, and also there's some political stuff like oppression is about ISA and all this stuff. But I think the personal is political also, because you're dealing with a lot of external influences, powers and everything. While at the same time, I just want to be myself, man.
Can we talk a bit about Central Market?
Central Market, man.
I mean,
It's awesome. I mean,
we
even
both
before we
know-
were,
we both know the designer for Central Market now, the current one. What do you think of Central Market then and Central Market today?
whoa, it's so different.
But is it
It's
bringing
less
the same
organic.
message?
It's less organic. The first thing that I would say is less organic. It's more planned now. Back then, everybody, you can be whoever you are. You just come. Just come. Whether you hang out or you want to go shop, whatever. And the stuff there is like really, books. There's, people have to realize that Central Market was a wet market, which is 100 or more years old.
Yeah.
Which is on the bank of a big river. That drain used to be a big river, So it was like in Sabah, the term would be the tamu, where all these different influences congregated, And in the late 70s, it became the place for a lot of the Malay poets, the anak alam people. I mean, the people who are doing their own thing, same like what we did after that. They were like the pioneers of that places. I think even before that, I'm sure they are, because if you look back in the 30s and the 40s, there's a lot of writers. Our Malay writers there's so many back then written in
Why
Jawi.
were these artistic people hanging out in a wet market?
Because that's the place where everybody's gonna be there.
Oh, so it's literally like cari makan lah.
No, it's a place that accepts you who you are. You don't need to be somebody else, isn't it? Like, it's a place that allows you to be who you are. You come in, and you meet. You have this affinity with other people there, and people will accept you as who you are. I think the more I don't want to say arty people, people with more kind of like thoughts and outward looking, they look for each other somehow. I mean, as a social beings, and you meet these like-minded people, even though it's different, but at the same time, you know, having this outlook of looking for something or appreciating certain things that's not normally appreciated and things like this. And I think one of the major contributing factor for Central Market was the restaurant. I think it was called Yusuf before, Restaurant Yusuf, and after that it's called Hamid. It allows people to sit there. Order one teh tarik, and you can sit there from 6 o'clock until 10. They don't allow you. Understand? No? So that I mean, a lot of us back then, we don't have much money. We don't have money, you know. We walk from Briefy to over there. Sometimes we skate there.
Oh, the mamak in front
No, inside.
inside.
Now the reception is outside, but you know, they were inside. They are at the stairs in the middle there. So you can just go there and another thing, whatever you work, let's say you work at the Colgate, a lot of my friends work at the Colgate factory in Sunway. After work, immediately go to the market because they know there'll be friends there. You don't need to call hey, are you gonna be there? No need. Because there'll be people there. And when it closed up at about 10, then you go to Jalan Alo, which is on the other side. Or you go to Thailand Street, where we call it the red tables, meja merah, you know, the Chinese restaurant we order. Yeah, so we hang out there. Or we just take a bus from Kota Raya, go back to Briefy. You know, and it's just something that's solid. It's always there for us. You imagine you have something that's there. You know it's going to be there. But of course, throughout the years, it changed lah. I mean, when this reached, I think it was Bernard Bong. I heard that he died already. He's a textile millionaire or something. Good friend with Pak Lah and all that. He managed to take over that building, and then he got our friend to turn it around to make it something else. And that's the point, which is both good and bad, because in terms of per isian, the content of Central Market itself, not the annex, it's pretty much catered to sales and tourism, in a sense, not just, you know, Mak Saleh, but, you know, local tourism, whatever. But they have the sense to turn the annex to become a art hub, where the best thing was happening in terms of the arts, music, and you know, visual art or theater, things like this. It's really amazing. I think we had a great 4 or 5 years there. Yeah. So if you look at that, I think the end of the time when Central Market was really conducive to a lot of the more artistic leaning, would be somewhere early 2000 or mid 2000. So if you go back 100 years before that, it's but for me, I'm always thankful of the existence of Central Market, because that's where a lot of us found ourselves and do what we are doing now and all this thing, you know what I mean? Allows us the space, like our headquarters in some sense, you know. You don't have money. Oh, I don't have money. So I'm gonna work Central Market. I'm gonna pinjam money for some friends there. Yeah, you know. Yeah. So Payday, the song Payday, which came out on the second album, DUNG, is about that, in the sense that you got money, you got pay, you work somewhere, you got paid. So of course, the first thing you do, you have to look for bundle baju or something, because you don't buy from the shop. You don't. You know, back then you just go to bundle. You get t-shirt, you get your jeans there, whatever, and then from there you go to the market, the money, and then you pay back the friends who gave you, who lent you money, and then you buy a round of teh tarik to all the friends. The song is succinctly about that, you know, about that sort of community and support between us, you know. It's beautiful, man. It's so beautiful. and I don't know if people can see how beautiful the relationship of I mean, I'm not just talking about the guys who are involved in the music scene. Because over there, you got all the street artists, you got all, you got everything.
Yeah.
People who do t-shirt, but you can see that a lot of them have the same kind of mindset. People who like read books, people who love books, sit down, talk about which book you have, all these things, all these nerds, It's beautiful, it's amazing. I love it, and I hope there are still places like that nowadays, because it's so inspiring.
Yeah.
Because it pushes you to do things, bands were formed there, fanzines were made there, gigs were like organized there. You know what I mean?
I'm
so
really
much
hoping
stuff.
that each state has their own version of the central
They do.
market.
I mean, usually, like like, if I remember growing up in the kampung, there's always be a small stall there where people hang out. Main dam, or checkers or whatever. Watch TV. Oh, yeah, Muhammad Ali with Joe Wagner, or that kind of like social center. So for us, that is the place in Central Market, and I do think there are nowadays maybe
Kedai mamak, right?
kedai mamak lah, but I don't know how creative in that sense as a pendebungaan idea. I don't know, but in Central Market it was. People do a lot of things from the fact that you're hanging out, you talk about this. Hey, have you listened to this? You can, like things like this, And when I remember when I did my fanzine, I would bring the first few issues that I printed out in a bag, give it them, and they would buy it like 3 ringgit each, whatever, and then they would sit down and the story used to go quiet. Everybody was reading. I was like, and then somebody else would do the fanzine and we do the same. You know what I mean? It's like this appreciation of your friends' work. That's why if you look at the early days of the underground scene and the releases or the fanzine, you look at the thanks list. The thanks list is so long because we want to fit as many people. We want to thank you. Because so many who help us in any other way. So you look at the fanzine. Nowadays you don't even now somebody thank you to whoever. Back then it's like all these friends.
No,
Which
nowadays they just
which is why I love the fact that I called the first album "Songs for Friends" because it is about. It's so important, with friendship.
wow. They
It's so
go back
important. The
diet about
like Bohu clapping song, which is so popular and all people
Yeah.
love. It's all about that. It's about friendship. It's about affinity to this person, because it's reciprocal. It's a reciprocal relationship, It's not one-sided or whatever, And we have to appreciate that. And a lot of people forgot. That it's so important. I mean, after your family, even you maybe hate your family. So there's these friends. And throughout your life, you see how many friends you have that have somehow affected you, somehow have helped you, somehow have touched you in certain ways that push you to another direction, whatever. Fuck, man. Very, very influential. So, another thing I want to say that friends should not be just one sort of person. It should be a lot of different persons. Because I think friends are the one who shape you, who you are. And if the friend is a lot more active and have a lot more ideas, then you got infected. You're like, okay, people come to if you just hang out with a certain type of friend, I would say then you're gonna be a bit stuck. Like I remember when I first went to Kuala Lumpur. I'm from Terengganu, man. I don't know if you know Terengganu. So anyway,
bit
when
lah,
Kuala
a bit.
Lumpur, immediately I was thrown. I was thrown into the office of the Star, the newspaper. And the Star have Chinese, Indians, Bais, whatever. Everybody's there, and everybody's talking English. I cannot speak English. I'm from Terengganu. I can write in English, but there's nobody I can talk English with in Terengganu.
As training.
Yeah, so I was thrown into this deep end, and suddenly, in Terengganu, there's not many Chinese people. The way you interact with the Chinese is through the counter at the shop. Hi, this is how much? Sit. Yeah, or maybe at school, But a proper kind of relationship, you don't have that. So when I was thrown there, it's like, whoa, it just blew my mind. But it's perfect for me because it changed the way I see things. I see so many viewpoints, There was a transgender I was hanging out with, and it's awesome, I mean, suddenly I'm a friend with this transgender. This is 1988, and suddenly my world I met all the different. I start hanging out with the Swaran people, which is Swara, because I'm politically, leaning, always I think when you got into punk rock, immediately you become, at the very least you become political. You start thinking about what's happening around the world. So I start hanging out with these people, and hang out with the artists and things like that. So my world, in terms of my friendship, was really diverse. That was sometimes to get the word diverse. You have to diversify the friendship or the friends that you have around you, because they are going to help you find your way.
Talking about diversity. Time okay?
Sekejap, kita
Okay. I want to hear your experience with not a fast howling mountain.
Oh yeah, that
was like a lot of types of friends.
yeah. We got friends from Manila who came, and there was a baby was made there.
Yeah.
Yes. I think he's now, was it 10, 12? I can't remember. Maybe older.
It was long. That long?
Yeah, I think so. Was it what year? Was it 2013 or 2014?
Yeah.
Yeah, 10 years. Yeah, 10 years. Yeah. But anyway, I'm okay. Not many people know about the Howling Mountain Festival, which is a punk rock festival, which organized by the kids here and also the kids in KL. I mean, the term kids, I always use the term kids, of the scene. The population of the scene is known as the kids. Maybe if you listen to the song by Sam 69, it's always got the kids, or maybe the Who, the kids are alright. So maybe, I don't know, but I always term it. But anyway, so it was organized by the kids in KL and the kids over here who got together. And then the idea was to have an annual punk rock festival. And it was held in Kundasang. I think it was Kundasang?
Yes.
Yeah, Kundasang. At this, I think it was
It's a resort.
resort.
Yeah.
But, I mean, not like really kind of a high-end resort.
No.
But
It
has
was
space.
dilapidating.
Yeah, dilapidating. They have space, and we got, I think, 110, maybe 210, but 110 for the bands playing. And Contra Social, I think it was from Indonesia, and Marginal from Indonesia. And I think there was 2 bands from Singapore.
Thailand, I think there's one.
No, I don't think there's a Thailand though. We invited people.
Or maybe people came from Thailand.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
We invited a lot of bands, but they cannot make it. There was supposed to be a band from Australia, 2 bands from Australia. Anyway, I mean, it was a one-day festival, but it was great. It was amazing because the fact that the hill, I mean, the top of the hill was, that's the main road, and then there is this hilly side. And then you play in the stand, you can see the mount. I mean, the kind of like the valley and the mountain on this. It's beautiful. And yeah, we had a great time, and we're supposed to be doing it again, but
You want to tell about Alak's performance?
Yeah, but I don't want to mention certain things. But he can't sing. he cannot sing, and he was telling. He came. I think he came to me. He said, "Joe, can we stop? Can we not play tonight?" I said, "No, you have to play. We have to play." So he was held up by Manan. Manan was holding him up because he cannot even stand. Yeah, but we did the show. We did the show anyway. What do you remember?
This might be off record lah kan, but what I remember was he apologized to you the next day and said, "I'm sorry we didn't do the performance properly." And you said to him like, "What are you talking about? We did the whole album." So he forgot.
He forgot.
He forgot.
But that was not the first time. There was one time we played in Ipoh, and then there was a band. Our friend's band were playing before us, and he stage dived, and nobody sambut him. So, so he pensan. He was like totally pensan. We had to bring it down because it's like one story kind of venue. So we had to bring it down to the street, and then put water on his face, and he said, "Oh, I'm okay. And then we did our set, and then we're going back that night on the bus, and he was like, "Did we play?" He completely forgot the whole thing. Kita main tak Ju? The fuck you lah, kita main what? Yeah.
Yeah, that was a very good experience. I haven't been to a gig for a long time. When I was there, it really, I was taken back to the days when you didn't care, you just do.
Yeah, but the shows most of the time is like that. Yeah. But I mean, first of all, you have to realize we are not professional band. We are not earning our food on the table by playing music. So it's all just very much pure, and it's fun, and then we just whack, and then it doesn't matter actually if you play badly or good or whatever, you just, the main thing is you're having so much fun with your friends. I think a lot of people do not understand that fact, Yeah, of course you want to play well, of course, but if it doesn't work that way, it doesn't matter. It's like when we write our songs. I mean, the other day somebody said, because when we put out this song, I think it was in the Capital DUNG Facebook. Somebody said that, "Oh, you guys sound like this song sound like lagu Mak Saleh or something like this," and then, but it should have, if you do like more melodic song like Buhu or something, then people like it more, and then I said, yeah, I mean, if we are like a people pleaser like that, then we will be doing 200 version of Buhu. And then, but we are not that. We do what we want. I mean, if you like it, great. If you don't, fine. It doesn't really matter. I mean, what's the point of doing something you don't like? So again, it comes to because it's not about making money.
Sure.
That's the thing, though. That's the beauty of the underground music scene, or the punk scene, or whatever. I mean, because money is secondary, and not even secondary. It's tertiary, or fourthary, whatever. Because it's not the main thing. So once that is out of the equation, then the relationship that you have, the connection that you have is real. Is person to person. After a show, you hang out.
Cool.
You don't like immediately want to go back. You hang out. You go like roti canai. We want to get drunk, whatever. I mean, there is this connection between people that you have to cherish. It's fucking hell, man. It's beautiful. I mean, come on. You and another person. There's 2 bodies or 3 bodies or even 50 bodies together, and having conversation or whatever. And I mean, that's beauty.
Sure.
Instead of just a money machine, which is empty of great values. It just become, and why you want to have that in your life when you are dealing with it every day, when you work, when you're trying to earn for your family and everything. So maybe you can use the scene or the musical part of you of the band as the escape part, where you become who you are. You might be performative in other areas just to make money, but then there should be a valve somewhere that you can be who you are. You can just yell and say fuck you, whatever, you know what I mean? And then, that's another role of punk rock that people don't realize, It's a ruang. It's a ruang, that is more genuine, lagi asli daripada apa yang you have to go through every day. Yeah.
I am so overwhelmed with information right now. Berapa jam sudah?
Jam 35 minit.
Huish. What do you want to say to kids out there who wants to be Joe Kid?
No, don't be me. Be yourself. Be yourself. Be yourself. Don't be me.
No,
Fuck,
no.
man.
I mean,
But that's the wrong way to
no,
look
I
at
mean,
it.
no.
Be yourself.
Let me rephrase that. Who wants to live life like you? Not exactly be like you.
Okay.
I mean, you
all this while-
consciously decide to do freelancing. You consciously decide to be in a rock band, to form and to collaborate. I mean, do you have a formula, or you just, like you said, you just do?
You just wing it. You just whack. No, I think what should be put in terms of your values, your values that you held dearly as being yourself. What is it that make you happy? What is it? Then do that. Do that. Instead of doing. And also be wary of the trap around you. The trap which you're going to regret. You might get offers, things like this, that you can see that, wow, maybe I'll make more money, I can be this and be that. But always look also that there is elements that might just trap you from you becoming yourself. You have to be somebody else, and then you'll be unhappy. I mean, I think even if you have the greatest, the biggest heart to help out people to see a better world, whatever, all these great values that you want to see, empathy to other people. If you don't have that love for yourself first, and the empathy for yourself first, the care for yourself first, then how do you help the other people? You have to take care of number one first, which is yourself, and then from there, then you can impart all these other things that you can lend a hand, whatever, But at the end of the day, do what you want to do instead of doing something or finding yourself doing something that you don't like doing, because that will eat you. Dia akan makan diri tau. Slowly gonna makan diri. And unlearn. Always unlearn.
Oh yeah, I've been hearing that word
Unlearn.
a lot of time this month.
Because your parents, your society may have the best wishes for you, but still they are molding you to be somebody else most of the time. They are not encouraging you to be who you are. So you have to unlearn a lot of this lesson that they give you and all these things. Unlearn. And I think the best thing is also always, don't stop learning, because oh man, there's so much thing that you need to know, and then be critical. I think be critical of yourself first, and then the things that you are involving yourself with or impacting upon you. You have to be critical about things. Don't just telan. You have to kunyah first.
Wow. Wow. Ahmad, ada soalan? Betul-betul kita naik bukit pergi bertapak ni di berguru.
Full memory lah kira.
Overloaded.
No, I think you're being yourself. I mean, you guys are doing great work. Kan?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess so.
Yeah. You're happy.
I'm not proud. I didn't do much homework on this,
It doesn't.
but I am happy that
if you are at the place where you're happy with what you're doing, if you're still not happy, but you are doing something to make it happy. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
it's yeah.
yes.
One thing that I learned later on in life is that when you fail, it doesn't mean that you fail. When you fail, it means that you did something. You learn from it. You gain something. So that's the fact. That's the fact. A lot of people don't realize.
Yeah.
Oh, aku fail lah. And then the friend, oh, you fail, loser. But no, come on.
You tried something and you failed.
Yeah.
It's not like you didn't do anything.
Yeah. And
Okay
also another thing, also I
Yeah.
forgot that
Okay.
is this. There are toxic people, and just get away from them. They're always toxic people, always, and they are going to affect you always. And you need to fit in lah. You need to the things like this. You have to be like this. You have to wear this or whatever. And those are. I mean, I have many of those. I call them my 50-minute friends. Where you go hang out with them 50 minutes and then I've got to go somewhere. Yeah.
We are your.
Because I don't reject people. I think that's another thing about me. I don't really reject people. I always, even people who hurt me, they're still my friends. Yeah, but there is certain boundaries I already put. But like there are people who like, I mean, there's this guy who's worked with some company. Suddenly, he wrote my name as I bought stuff from his company when I didn't do anything. So the company looked for me, like how many thousand. I was like, what the fuck? No, I didn't buy this thing. But anyway, he's still my friend. But when it comes to that, we don't do that anymore. I mean, we don't go do projects together anymore. Nothing anymore. We just hang out, have coffee, whatever, have fun.
Gonna, at this point, I'm going to like. How do you do this?
I'll give you the CD lah. This is for sip.
Really?
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then if you need the other song, you just tell me. I send them MP3 or whatever.
But they are in Spotify, right?
Only one song so
Only
far.
one song.
So far. But I'm planning to put out the rest in the next few days.
It's okay. I think what we can do is we just link people to the podcast to lead them to the one song, and if they want, then they have to get it from you lah.
No, yeah, it's not so much about them buying. No. It's just for them to listen to the song.
Okay.
Because if you're doing it in the way of audio, not video, then maybe you can just play the song. Let's listen to one song.
Alright.
Let's listen to another one. Something like that. If it's in audio, but if you want to put a video, then maybe that's a bit weird to do.
Then I guess it can be like a bonus thing for people who listen to the end. So the songs are there. Yeah. Then
The
that
whole
will make
idea is for me, is to tell people that we're gonna come and play here, and also to have people listen to our song. That's all. I mean,
When's the gig?
Hmm?
When is the show?
the 5th of October,
5th of October.
which is my birthday,
Oh, happy advance
which is
birthday.
why I said yes to this guy who called me up. Said, Joe, would you like to play on the 5th of October in KK? October, that's my birthday. Yes. No, because they say they're gonna pay for the flight and everything, so I can bring my band for my birthday. And I was like, wow, that's great. That's like almost a privilege, man. I mean, not so much like to celebrate. I mean, I got my closest friend here. You know, what I mean, and yeah, it'd be nice. And it's my
I am
and
happy
it's
for
my
you.
60th birthday. 60.
Wow, Joe.
Masih muda.
You don't look 60. You don't. I don't feel 60 when I'm around you. No, I don't feel you
So
being
you're
60.
So always 27, man. Just before you die.
Oh, okay. Hey, Joe Kid, thank you for this.
Anytime, man.
How to gulung this? This has been
Pergulungan.
this has been a sip show.
Is it still recording?
It's still recording.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that personal stuff just now?
we can just
Oh, yeah, okay.
take out. It's been a privilege doing this with you.
And thank you, because I just want to see more people at the show. I also,
Yeah.
and also, I mean, it's gonna be a great show. I mean, Atoto is one great band. They've always been a great band, because they are actually. Okay, you imagine a really serious death metal growling band, but those guys, they are really sweethearts actually. That's what I'm saying. They are really nice guys. You know.
Alright.
So yeah, I love them. And then nice to Pit Playground. I saw them play at Zhongshan like 2 weeks ago, last week, something. The vocals kind of lost a bit of that young thing a bit, but maybe due to maybe them being rusty. Because even when we arrived at that place before the play, they were there, hang out them. I met them for a while, and they said, "Oh, we have to go jam." I said, "Huh?" Because the meaning that they're not that well prepared that night. Hopefully, when they play KK, it'll be great. Because I think, in the late 90s, they were one of the better bands around at that time. Yeah.
And they had like a boohoo version of theirs too.
Really?
Ordinary.
Ordinary
Day.
Yeah, that's awesome. Awesome song.
The other one is like berhantu sial.
Yeah.
Okay lah.
All right. So
Thank you.
see you guys at the show.
See you at the show. And get the EP. Listen to the song. We're gonna be playing.
You can get the EP on at the ricecookshop.com.
Yes.
Yeah, and some T-shirt there also. But we'll be bringing some of the T-shirt and the EP also be selling at the show.
Right.
We're going to have a booth apparently. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And at that, we are going to say goodnight.
Good night.
See you in the next episode. Nama saya Igen. Amat sini. Ate di rumah with baby. Selamat malam.
Selamat malam.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, man. Anytime.
Stop. Yay, wah minta autograph. 3 jam.
Boleh buat selut.
Hey, what's up, guys? Terima kasih. Thanks for watching, listening till the end of this show. Joe notified me when we were recording that he's going to upload a few more songs in Spotify. So I won't be linking the songs here. You can go to the description below. I'll keep you updated on all the links that Joe is going to put up. So you can go straight away to the link, click and listen to the new songs. And hope you enjoy the stuff they've redone, remastered, whatever. I jahil when it comes to these kind of things. Anyway, I'm gonna be playing I'm gonna be playing some of the dumbass AI things I've been doing with Carburetor DUNG's songs. Hantu Raya Putrajaya made into a bossa nova style, and also Macam Celaka made into this Sharifah Aini kind of 80s pop thing. So if you hate it, you hate it. I'm sorry. If you love it, then yeah. Thank you very much. So this is me, Egan, signing off. Konon macam radio bodoh. I'll see you in the next episode. Yeah, see ya. Thanks. Bye.
Suaramu yang lantang melawan siapa punya? Rumahmu yang indah tersergam siapa punya? Hidupmu yang kenyang senang berenang siapa punya? Kebebasanmu yang ada siapa punya? Coba-coba naikkan suara, kan ku heret, aku ikan, aku tangkap, aku sumbat. Coba-coba naikkan kepala, kan ku ketuk, aku lepuk, aku luku. Cantas coba-coba celikan mata, aku cucuk, aku sembur, aku genyah, aku jolo. Jangan lupa, jangan apa, aku yang berkuasa. Hari-hari kan ku terkam, pintu rumah kan ku terjang, kan ku berkas, kan ku bungkus, kan ku heretmu ke dalam. Jangan kau lupa, jangan kau apa, ingatlah semua, aku yang berkuasa. Coba naikkan suara, kan ku heret, aku ikat, aku tangkap, aku sumbat. Coba-coba naikkan kepala, kan ku ketuk, aku lepuk, aku luku. Cantas coba-coba celikan mata, aku cucuk, aku sembur, aku genyah, aku jolo. Jangan lupa, jangan apa, aku yang berkuasa. Hari-hari kan ku terkam, pintu rumah kan ku terjang, kan ku berkas, kan ku bungkus, kan ku heretmu ke dalam. Jangan kau lupa, jangan kau apa, ingatlah semua, aku yang berkuasa. Pagi hari kan ku terkam, pintu rumah kan ku terjang, kan ku berkas, kan ku bungkus, kan ku heretmu ke dalam. Kan ku berkas, kan ku bungkus, kan ku heretmu ke dalam.
Suaramu yang lantang melawan siapa punya? Rumahmu yang indah tersergam siapa punya? Hidupmu yang kenyang senang lenang siapa punya? Kebebasanmu yang ada siapa punya? Coba-coba naikkan suara, kan ku heret, aku ikat, aku tangkap, aku sumbat. Coba-coba naikkan kepala, kan ku ketuk, aku lepuk, aku luku, aku cantas. Coba-coba celikan mata, aku cucuk, aku sembur, aku kenyah, aku jolo. Jangan lupa, jangan apa, aku yang berkuasa. Pagi hari kan ku terkam, pintu rumah kan ku terjang, kan ku berkas, kan ku bungkus, kan ku heretmu ke dalam. Jangan kau lupa, jangan kau apa, ingatlah semua, aku yang berkuasa. aku tangkap, aku sumbat. Coba-coba naikkan kepala, kan ku ketuk. Aku lepuk, aku luku, aku cantas. Coba-coba celikan mata, aku cocok, aku sembur, aku kenyeh, aku colok. Jangan lupa, aku yang berkuasa. Pagi hari kan ku terkampak, aku yang berkuasa. Pagi hari kan ku terkam, pintu rumah kan ku terjam. Kan ku berkas, kan ku bungkus, kan ku heretmu ke dalam. Jangan kau lupa, jangan kau apa, ingatlah semua, aku yang berkuasa. Sampai nekelong lawan apapun ruang yang indah tersergap. Yang satunya hidup, yang kenyang senang lenang siapa punya. Kebebasanmu yang ada siapa punya, coba punya, siapa punya. Coba-coba naikkan suara, kan ku heret, aku ikat, aku tangkap, aku sumbat. Coba-coba naikkan kepala, kan ku ketuk. Aku lepuk, aku luku, aku cantas. Coba-coba celikan mata, aku cucuk, aku sembur, aku kenyeh, aku colok. Jangan lupa, jangan apa, aku yang berkuasa. Pagi hari kan ku terkam, pintu rumah kan ku terjam. Kan ku berkas, kan ku bungkus, kan ku heretmu ke dalam. Jangan kau lupa, jangan kau apa, ingatlah semua, aku yang berkuasa. Pagi hari kan ku terkam, pintu rumah kan ku terjam. Kan ku berkas, kan ku bungkus, kan ku heretmu ke dalam. Jangan kau lupa, jangan kau apa, ingatlah semua, aku yang berkuasa. Coba-coba naikkan suara, kan ku heret, aku ikat, aku tangkap, aku sumbat. Coba-coba naikkan kepala, kan ku ketuk. Aku lepuk, aku luku, aku cantas. Coba-coba celikan mata, aku cucuk, aku sembur, aku kenyeh, aku colok. Jangan lupa, jangan lupa, aku yang berkuasa. Pagi hari kan ku terkam, pintu rumah kan ku terjam. Kan ku berkas, kan ku bungkus, kan ku heretmu ke dalam. Jangan kau lupa, jangan kau apa, ingatlah semua, aku yang berkuasa.
Di celah lorong hancing terdampar seekor anjing, meraung di tembak babi, bergelut menerjang aja. 10 tahun lama kau nekat sabar neraka, kau cabul norma-norma, kau langgar kanun susila. Bagai nanah, bagaikan kudis buta, kau mengamuk, membakar melontar bahana. Bagai gagak, bagaikan tikus kusta, kau lampai rampas janji-janji yang dijamal dunia. Bagai nanah, bagaikan kulis buta, kau mengamuk membakar melontar bahana. Bagai gagak, bagaikan tikus kusta, kau rampas janji-janji yang dijamal dunia. Bagai nanah, bagaikan kulis buta, kau mengamuk membakar melontar bahana. Bagai gagak, bagaikan tikus kusta, kau rampas janji-janji yang dijamal dunia.